Hot takes, yes, it affects us all. Takes a long time to say anything in a podcast. Never say anything unless it's worth taking a long time to say. And take a long time we will, because
sir.
here we are. Cinema Forecast. It's me, Alfredo. I'm here with my good friend Connor.
Hello, welcome back.
And today we are continuing the theme of December, which is Lord of the Rings.
What a theme it is.
I'll just say it real quick, just so y'all can know for next time, for next year. We are Cinema Forecast, the movie podcast, where every month we are randomly assigned a category by the legally distinct movie roulette. Attached to said category are 4 movies that we believe fit that category. Each week we take one of those movies, we go in depth, and we talk about it in the context of the category. This month, no random category. As said before, we are doing Lord of the Rings. Last week, we did Fellowship of the Ring. For those of you not in the know, that is the first movie in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Today we're doing the second one. It is The Two Towers. Yeah. Do you remember the first time you saw this one?
Yeah, again in theaters. So I saw Fellowship of the Ring in theaters 6 times. I believe I only saw Two Towers twice.
Two Towers twice, appropriately.
Yes, sir. What about
Oh
you?
yeah. I saw it in theaters. I don't really remember the specifics. I think that the story I told last week about like my friend being like scared of the orcs, because we ultimately did go see it. That was like for Return of the King.
Okay.
And then yeah, just wild to see again 2001, 2002, 2003
Yeah.
like for the release dates of the movies.
So awesome. I mean, like, it was just so exciting. I remember each year as a kid just like, oh, it's coming. I think December every year.
Yeah, for sure. And my birthday's at the end of November, so like literally 11, 12, and 13. So when I was saying like these, like I transitioned from like childhood to like being a teen with these movies, like literally like those like very
That's awesome.
specific years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess I was like 8, 9, 10.
Quick maths. I thought about it for a little bit afterwards, and kind of while like about to start The Two Towers, I took the first movie into consideration on its own.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do that last time. I didn't. I just thought about it like with all of like within the context of the series. And I mean, I am the king of context, so I'm going to stick with my rating, but I will like give a couple of caveats.
Sure.
The context definitely gives it bonus points. I also feel like based on the other like the things that were different from the book, including some of the very important like sort of like fights that we talked about on the episode, I might like scoot it down to like an A+, but again, still remains an S tier because it does exist within that context, but just on its own, that's what I was thinking about. But that's it. That's all I got for that. Let's hit those freaky deaky themes. I'll go over mine really quickly. We were talking about good versus evil. Again, I think this is one of those ultimate good versus evil stories. Power corrupts. Power can be held in the smallest of things. This feeds into the other theme that I kept shouting out, which is scale. And then last one being love, and that encompassing fellowship, friendship, loyalty, and this sort of idea that love is God, or like the closest like human feeling that brings us to God, the binding force of existence. And then one that was in the first movie that I really started to pick up a lot in this one is hope, and like a loss of hope, and how simply having hope can carry people so far in the world, and how it is this sort of necessary force along with love, and maybe even thinking of hope as like a love and surrendering to God or the universe, or just the flow of history, or existence.
Yeah. I won't go over all mine because I think a lot of them just slot right into yours. But yeah, on the topic of hope, humanity's perseverance, I think also is kind of like /hope/faith. Yeah, I think it's just like a faith in whether it be God or just yourself or your friends, just like a faith that it will work out because the alternative is giving up, right? And then, yeah, the only other one really that I have separated from yours is evil destroying itself when opposed by friendship, love, and loyalty. And there's definitely a lot of that in the second one too. And then Mercy was another one I was really thinking about a lot throughout this one. It's throughout all the movies. Um, I think it plays a major theme in the theme of evil destroying itself. Like when you show mercy, often that'll lead to evil destroying itself, kind of thing. But yeah, amazing themes.
Hell yeah, let's fucking do it. So for this movie, they have a fourth writer step in. His name is Steven Sinclair. I also realized that despite talking about the soundtrack so
Right.
much last
I was
time, we
thinking the
never
same.
mentioned Howard Shore's name.
Yeah,
So yeah, Howard Shore, fucking great fucking
God
iconic
tier
score.
soundtrack.
Yeah, I was thinking that he is maybe he is amongst like the Mount like composer more, like up there with like Morricone and Williams for being almost more tied to the movies than the directors. I
Yeah.
think like those sort of things where like I don't really think Sergio Leone when I think of like those spaghetti westerns.
Right, that's
I think
funny.
like more Ennio Morricone, and again with Star Wars, but maybe just because of like some of the like I don't know, some of the like meh vibes from when like the friggin' prequels came out and shit.
Right,
At least there was always like John Williams.
right.
Um,
Hans Zimmer, to an extent, might be on that Mount Rushmore.
yeah,
I feel like in modern times, I don't like him as much as the other three.
I
but
don't think of him in the same like vein of like I'm like when I'm like Christopher Nolan movie, like no, that's like a like it's he has too much I think of like he's got too many things. He's got the dead wife thing, he's got like the like, complicated
Yeah.
like he's got all his things. But I do see what you mean
with
for
like
like
Pirates of the Caribbean, Gladiator, stuff like that, where I'm just
for sure,
like,
for sure,
Hans
for
Zimmer.
sure, for sure. Yeah. Again, I just want to shout out, Hans Zimmer collaborate on the Pirates of the Caribbean thing. But yeah, I totally see what
That's
you mean.
right. Yep.
The opening track is called Foundations of Stone. This theme immediately setting up a much darker
Yeah.
tone for this film.
Yeah. Very pretty. And it has elements of the main like ring theme, which we hear at the beginning of Fellowship as well. But it's like, yeah, like you said, like a darker version of it. I love the shot of the mountains.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
again, the whole thing about like scale and like tiny things, big things. This really awesome wide shot is really dope. I also love the way that you can like barely hear like Gandalf like sort of like yelling at the fucking Balrog, but like slowly,
Yeah.
slowly moving around the mountain and then pushing in through like a cavern. Like we
Right.
see that whole scene played out once more.
Yeah, and I was trying to think what it means thematically, and I was thinking maybe like just the beauty of the world with this darkness underneath it and these people fighting against the darkness, but it's all like under the scenes while the world is like pristine and at rest kind of thing.
For sure. I also think that the reason that it starts here is because it brings us into one of the darkest moments of the last movie.
Yeah, good point.
Really
yeah.
emphasizes that there's no hope. And like seeing Gandalf alive again, kind of like a dagger to the heart. And then you see Boromir still alive,
Right.
sort of like a second dagger.
Good point.
A recontextualization of like and emphasis on Frodo's reaction as well.
Right. And just the fellowship being together and
Yeah.
they're no longer and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of like hurts a little bit. But yeah, I love the way that we follow Gandalf down
It's
into
so
like
sick.
the pit. It is like I did make a note that this part is like a little silly,
Yeah.
but like the amount of silly that I like get out of bed for, like the kind of
Right.
silly that like I'm like down for.
Right. Like you don't see this in the books, but like you don't like I'm glad that we do in the movies because it's just so awesome. Like the way he catches that sword, like after making himself aerodynamic, and just like I love that part where the Balrog like slams against a rock and like Gandalf catches himself on the horn of the Balrog and
Yeah.
they're just falling together. And then that pull out shot when they're falling like towards the water.
The
And then,
huge wide shot of the watery cavern and like the fiery
Yes.
figure just like slowly
And-
dropping into the water.
the super climactic music turns into this like really beautiful like operatic vocals. It's just perfect. And I love the way it crashes into water, white flash, Frodo waking up. Really, really good.
Yeah, screaming Gandalf's name.
Yeah.
Smart little thing to do. I immediately too when I was watching this movie, the last movie, I mentioned this sort of like sheen, this ethereal sort of like look to it. This movie looks like a documentary almost. Like it's so gritty. Like the
That's a good point.
the
yeah.
grain of the film like was so much more apparent to me. it felt much more like grounded almost just
Yeah.
visually.
That's such a good point because yeah, there is that sense of it. We talked about it a bit last time, where like out west in the Shire and stuff. That's where like kind of the last semblance of like a ton of magical things are just existing everywhere, right? And then the further east you go, like the darker, grittier it gets. And this story, like the Two Towers and the Battle of Helm's Deep, is really about like man's time standing up to the evils in the world, and we're getting into the kingdoms of man. And yeah, I think like you're saying, that grounded kind of way of filming it brings that out more.
Yeah, definitely like a lot more sort of like the whole council thing is like a lot of politicking, but definitely a lot more sort of politics in this.
Yeah.
With Faramir, also with like Theoden, but yeah, immediately we see Sam comforting Frodo, but in like the next scene where they're talking about being lost, and here Frodo also mentions that the ring is getting heavier. I immediately was like thinking, oh, that's right. Like Frodo and Sam's like relationship gets really sort of like tense throughout these next two movies.
Yeah.
I start to see already the foundation being laid of like Frodo distrusting Sam, and like even that whole thing of like, I think he says it in the third movie. He says, I could carry it for you. And then Frodo's like, dude, fuck you. Why would you say that? Like, you're going to fucking take it?
Yeah.
You want to take it? You want to take it for yourself?
A bit of a controversial addition to the movies because that doesn't happen in the books. They basically always stay close, even though like Frodo's going further and further into despair. But I do think it works for the movies. Like it adds, yeah, like you said, this extra tension over everything.
Well, we don't have the internal monologue or
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
the like peering into that part that you might have in a book. So I do think that this is a good addition. I think there's something very charming about the fact that it doesn't happen in the books. Like I do like that. I think it's something to like weigh, and I don't think that their decision was made in an uninformed way or like is dismissive of the original like content. I almost feel like I see how that is a way to illustrate these like this internal sort of like thoughts or battle like in like an external like filmable way. I do love the line that Frodo says. He says, nothing dampens your mood, Sam. And Sam always like so like really, he's like, these rain clouds might
Yeah.
just he's like open to anything. He's like, I might get pissed off. Who knows?
Yeah, and just every time the Shire theme weaves in, like it's so dark and stormy, and he's like, Lembas spread, more Lembas spread, and then you just get a little hint of the Shire theme, and then it kind of just like fades out as the storm clouds come in and all that,
Yeah, it's so wild to me. Like in the books, like getting the Lembas spread, getting the gifts from Galadriel is like such like a cool like big part.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, oh well, there's already in the first one, and I'm like that. I mean,
It's in the extended.
yeah, I like that. I think that I would have appreciated if it made it into the final cut, especially the way like he fucking whips out the fucking like I think pretty soon here actually, like because they're like going in circles and then they realize
the rope?
that they're not alone, and then like fucking Sam has him with like the rope, and like you're just like what the fuck is this rope, like
yeah, there's a lot.
where did it like come from? And so it would just be nice to have like that moment to pay off like from like the first one.
And the elvish cloaks that they use later.
Yeah, exactly,
There's
yeah,
a lot of things that aren't as well set up because of what's cut out from the first one.
Yeah, because like the brooch thing is fucking sick. Like
Yeah.
where like Pippin like pulls it off with his fucking. Also, Pippin in this movie like
big step up.
really like I think feels like so much more of a character to almost to the detriment of like Merry. Like Merry, it feels like his big thing is just like. I mean, he does have a big thing, but it's like one thing. It's just him like being pissed off at like the fucking
At the ends.
ends, yeah. But then it's Pippin who's like, no, go this
Yeah,
way,
I love
right?
that for
So
Pippin.
it was really like,
They need each other for Pippin to get there, though.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like something that's really clear in the film though. Like
Yeah.
but again, it's a huge cast. Like the scale of everything is very large, but
Yeah.
just I think important to at least mention.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're lost. Frodo can kind of sense they're not alone, which is interesting to me. Like it's almost like
You can smell it, dude.
yeah, can he smell Golem? That's what
Yeah.
I'm wondering. Yeah, there's a foul stench in the air. I think he says he's like, we're not alone. And I've always been like, is that separated or is that like a continuation of it smelling weird?
Yeah.
I kind of take it as just like evil knows evil. Like the ring can feel something being pulled towards it, and Frodo can feel the rings, like kind of thing.
I think you can smell Gollum because
Yep. He's a stinky boy.
he got raw fish breath. I like them like sort of pretending to sleep to catch him. During this part, it was very clear to me that Gollum is like a digital asset,
Yeah.
but like he does interact well with Frodo and Sam, so it's not like taking me out of it.
Yeah, like you can definitely see it 23 years later or whatever, but it still looks really good. Especially Andy Serkis's performance is, I think, really brings it to life, you know?
And so here we have, Sam very clearly doesn't have any pity for this guy. He just fucking like hates him. But we see that Frodo does. Frodo is starting to, I think, empathize with him really because he feels the weight of the ring, and I think he sees himself right in Gollum. He can see the path of like being so corrupted by this thing.
Yeah, I mean, Sam's like, tie him up and leave him. The orcs are going to catch us with all this wailing. And Frodo's like, I do pity him. And Gollum kind of leaps on this immediately, and I think Gollum's just such an interesting character, because you can never quite tell how when he's being genuine, when he's being manipulative, like other than when he's doing the direct back and forth. And another kind of, I would say brilliant addition because it's become such a like staple of the way people think about Gollum. But the split personality thing is also like a movie invention. But like so effective to like get you to sympathize with Gollum when he's like debating himself and all that.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Ultimately, they decide to let Gollum guide them to Mordor because they are late, and they are lost, and he says that he will lead them to the Black Gate. And then I love the first scene of Gollum leading them. He's just like running, like fucking just going so fast, and the hobbits are like really trying to fucking like keep up.
He's like such a little puppy when he's in a good mood. It's like adds such an endearing quality to him where he's like, oh, let's go, hobbits, yay! He's just like sprinting around and like having a good time, being a little buddy.
And the next scene, we see Merry and Pippin being carried by the orcs. I do think it's funny. Like, there's something very like kind of like funny about the visual of them like on the orcs' backs, like the way that they carry them, because it looks almost like they're like holding on to them.
Yeah,
it's a little, like, it looks a little strange.
Cozy.
But yeah, I love that he leaves his brooch, like so smart,
Yeah.
And
Man flesh.
Yeah, I love Aragorn like listening to like the earth,
Yeah.
realizing that they must have caught their scent. Gimli dragging behind the whole time.
Yeah.
I love
Very
this
funny bit.
I love this trio. They're like they're a cool. Again, I also have such fond memories of. I don't remember the name of the game specifically, but I remember having
might have just
so
been
much.
called The Two Towers.
It might have, yeah. I remember having so much fun, playing as like Aragorn, playing as Legolas, and playing like as Gimli, and like switching for like different missions. But really, really, very, very, very fun.
Yeah, one thing I really noticed on this watch, taking notes, is they really do a good job of like every scene with them basically has like a moment for each of them. Like it kind of round tables them where you get like a little thing from Gimli, a little thing from Legolas, a little thing from Aragorn. Okay, next scene,
And I love the line from Aragorn when he finds the brooch. Not idly do the leaves of Lorien fall. Also just want to shout out, again, all these amazing, very sort of Lord of the Rings classic wide shots, right?
Yeah.
The like come to New Zealand, we got beautiful views.
And you got the main theme coming in during this first like running through the countryside. Like when I think of like big open countryside shots, like this is one of those sequences I really think of, just the beginning of this movie and then running and running and running after the orcs, with big epic music playing.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that I also like about this part is, again, we're pointing to this like sort of weird, sort of hard to grasp nature of the magic, because Aragorn says something strange is at work here. It gives speed to these creatures.
Yeah.
Sets its will against us.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Yeah, no, I thought that was really interesting too. And I think that is in the books. So forgive me, dear viewers, listeners. I'm not as familiar with the Two Towers books and Return of the King books, just because it's been many years since I read those ones, and I read Fellowship more recently. But I do remember bits and pieces there. But I do think, there's something about Saruman's kind of like spell, the darkness gathering around Rohan, you know.
Turn it off. We can't do this.
Yeah, I'll go read the book and then we'll
He was
do-
supposed to read the book, guys. I'm sorry. I told him to read the book.
I love Gimli. We are natural sprinters, very dangerous over short distances.
Yeah, very silly.
I love it though.
Yeah, I think there's moments where I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. You're funny. Like, for the
Ye-
most part, I don't mind it. But
Yeah.
maybe it was just also because I watched this movie like after like work, and I don't know, I've been like super exhausted. So part of me was maybe like, okay, I get it. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I mean, I said last time, yeah, I have some issues with just kind of the silification of some of these more dignified characters in the books like Gimli, but you know, when I brush that under the rug, like I'm on board for the funny stuff, you know, it works.
And we have the classic line, of course, Legolas, what do your elf eyes see? Very useful one for sure. Then, you know, when he says that they're taking them to Isengard, always a great little thing in a movie. You say somewhere, then you go there. So we see in Isengard, we got Saruman on the Palantir, and he's really like, you know, Sauron, we got this, dude. We're
Dude,
gonna
this
fucking take it over,
monologue
dude.
is sick. I forgot how long it is because it just keeps going and going and going. What he's telling to Sauron over all of these scenes, because it's like, yeah, he's talking about the union of the two towers.
No one can stand against the might of the two towers.
Yeah, you see the Eye of Sauron. You got the orcs chopping down the trees, and this part really stood out to me this time, where he's talking about like how the forest will fall and it'll be a new order will rise, like from the spears, swords, and iron fists of the orcs.
The old world will burn in the fires of industry.
Yes, the fires of industry. I thought that was a really, because like Tolkien is such a nature guy. He loves trees and stuff, and I thought there was a lot of really like I already
Huge nature guy, loves trees. He can probably name like 5 different trees.
probably. But yeah, just like that theme stood out to me, even though of course it's in there with like the Ents and everything, but it really stood
Yeah.
out to me more this time.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It is a very sort of like anti-industrial revolution sort of like thing. Feels very like calls to that, right? Like this
Yeah.
sort of like loss of personal touch in things.
Yeah.
You know, Marx would perhaps say the alienation of the worker from the product of their labor. I also made a note here that I just want to say because it was funny the way I wrote it. Because we have more of the weapons, like all of this is happening overseeing like all of the quote unquote industry of Isengard, and we see more mud babies being born.
Yeah, mud babies.
Mud babies.
And also the hill tribes, which I
Yeah.
like that aspect of the story. It's like it's not just monsters they're
No.
fighting against. It's people that are like have been on the like kind of brushed off by society, you know,
Yeah.
like pushed off, and now like Saruman's taking advantage of that.
Yeah, in this movie we get all the people from not white cardinal directions that are being joining Sauron. We got the Easterlings and the Southrons. This is one of those things that I sort of like mentioned last time that points to like feels like vaguely xenophobic.
Sure.
And you know, I get it. It's like a fantasy world, but like it's a fantasy world inspired by like our world. So it's hard to separate that. Also the way that they're stylized, like the different cultures, it feels very like this is Western like Europe, and these are like, you know, people from Asia, and these are like people from like you know, not white places.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the hill tribes are just like
No, those are just some white guys
Yeah,
for
just
sure.
some-
No,
some
for sure.
dudes.
No. Hey, no, I'm not excluding white people from participating in the evil of this world.
But yes, it would be nice if we had like one hero from the east coming in who's like, I've brought my small band that is, you know, turned against the will of Sauron and wants to fight along Gondor's side or something like that.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I think that when you get into more of like the deeper lore, it like there's more context for it, and you can make more sense of it. But again, I think like you know,
Yeah,
it is like most of the concern with these stories is like this part of the world specifically. I
Yeah.
do love though the pointing to, just like with A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones, like, oh, like this isn't the whole world. There's
Yeah.
like a lot of other shit going on. I've just chosen to focus on this
Right.
part
I mean, those
specifically.
2 blue wizards are still out there, maybe. For those of you who don't know, I think there were 5 wizards, including Gandalf and Saruman, who came to the world, and 2 of them were the blue wizards, and they just like disappeared in the east and never returned.
Yeah, they lost their third member of the Blue Man Group, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think part of that kind of east and west thing going on that fits with the lore is that like everything like migrated from Valinor, right? Which is like the land of the gods, the Undying Lands, and then came across the sea. So that almost feels like the more protected area, the west of Middle Earth versus the east. So it's kind of like Sauron's domain, and the evils of the world fled to the east away from Valinor, and that's why it's like darker over there. But yeah, still problematic for sure.
I'm just hearing that you think that racism is good. No, I'm just joking. We have Eothane and Freda being sent by their mother to
Yep.
Edoras to raise the alarm.
Yeah, this scene always gets me a bit, it's just like,
I forgot that they got reunited. I was just like, oh fuck, dude, that sucks. Your mom's gonna die. But then
yeah.
like,
How'd
they're
she get out of there? She's a crafty lady.
yeah, they're reunited in Helm's Deep, and that was a really sweet little moment.
Yeah, just the little girl, man, she really kills it in this scene. Just, I don't want to go. It's just crying, and it's just like, I don't know, very relatable. Too many moments like that have happened in history,
We hear Saruman saying Rohan is ready to fall. You see Theodred being brought back to Rohan. Eowyn and Eomer, whatever, dude. Eomer, wild, making some eye contact, and then going to Theoden, and we see Grima is at his side, whispering in his ear,
What a guy.
telling him exactly what to do. Yeah, dude. Second appearance by Brad Dourif. He played Piter de Vries, which is the Mentat of the Harkonnen family
that's
in
right.
the 1984 David Lynch
That's
Dune.
right.
He's also been in, I think, a couple of other David Lynch movies, but he is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And all of the I hate Grima, but he has some of the best
Yeah.
dialogue in the entire fucking movie.
He's very like the lines he has feels very like Shakespearean to me. Just like super poetic and pretty.
It's so fucking good. But yeah, we have my boy Carl Urban getting banished.
Yeah.
He's standing up to the king and really Grima, right? Too much. So got to get rid of him because he's not gonna work out the plan.
Yeah, and well, he's saying like, he throws down a helmet with the white hand of Saruman on it, which I love is like a symbol for
Yeah.
Saruman's troops. It's so sick. But yeah, Grima's like, why do you bring these troubles to a troubled mind? Like, you
Yeah.
warmongering. And he's like, what are you talking about, bro?
And Grima is like, Saruman. No, he's always been like our homie, dude. Like, why would you say that? He's totally on our side.
Yeah. Silly.
It's a great strategy from Saruman, sowing the seeds of discord within the community and also attacking them from without. So there's pressure from both ends.
Yeah, and I don't believe in the books Theoden is under this spell. I don't remember that if that is in there, but I think it's another really good addition if that is movie exclusive. I could be wrong though. Correct me in the comments.
I do like that if he's not I think that people get so caught up in these things, and I think it really illustrates maybe sort of the paranoia or the just feeling super lost in a situation like this that's so overwhelming. So, if that is the case, then I don't necessarily need him to be under any sort of spell.
Yeah. I think it just sets up a great moment later, basically. It feels like it bonds everyone in a really quick, easy, cinematic way.
Yeah. We have more shots of Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli chasing the orcs across the land. A lot of great wide shots, variations on the Fellowship theme. And just an awesome shot of them running into the setting sun.
Yeah, looks so good.
And this is a very well-known moment as well for the memes where the orcs are stopping to take a breather, and they start chopping down some trees, and they're talking about how all they have left is some maggoty bread. They want to eat some meat, and then they're looking at the hobbits and they're like, "We could eat the hobbits," and they're like, "No, we need to bring them alive." What about their legs? Just their legs. They don't need their legs. They really don't need their legs.
No.
The way they've been carried around. And then I love that there's the conflict and the guy kills the one guy and he's like, all right, time to eat.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
Yeah, I put this down as theme number 4, evil destroying itself, because it happens over and over again where the orcs just start tearing each other apart, and that gives an advantage or a moment for our heroes to win the day, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like the second time I've seen it in the 2 movies. Like, I saw it the first time where the, like, Uruk-hai is born and he just, like, kills the dude, and then this guy killing the guy, and then they start eating each other.
Yeah, you also had the troll in the first movie who is, killing the orcs around him.
Like an unfettered, like, agent of chaos. Yeah, for sure.
But it still fits in, I think. And then you got...
Yeah, I guess I think of it as a little bit differently because it is, like, they are capturing it and trying to use it in this way, whereas like those other moments are willing participants of this like evil army who are like killing each other.
Right, and then you got Isildur, getting killed at the beginning, betrayed by the 3 arrows or whatever. Again, just like evil destroying itself. Can't get away from it. Took the ring, and that led to his doom. Yeah, I love the Rohirrim coming in. This is a great action set piece. It looks like you were saying, I think, maybe you said it in the last episode, just like how good they do stuff at night and in the darkness. Like, it's really hard to do a big action sequence in the dark, and this looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. It looks really great. Apparently, over the filming of the trilogy, they used about 200 to 300 horses.
Wow.
But to prevent them from being harmed, they would like fit the horse and the rider with the same type of suit that like Andy Serkis would use. And they were filmed in the studio doing quote unquote typical battle things like galloping, rearing up. So then the footage is like inserted digitally into the battle scenes, and that way they don't hurt any of the horses.
It's amazing because it looks so seamless, and maybe like the shadows and stuff help a lot with that. But like 80% of the CGI just fits like a glove, if not more.
I also just happened to catch this one piece of trivia right here, which is funny. They couldn't recruit enough men in the 6-foot height area to play Uruk-hai, so men from 5 foot high were cast as well. They were affectionately nicknamed the Uruk-lo.
That's pretty good. Yeah, we get the next morning. Nice like transition of the horse stomping Pippin. Pippin's dead. Rest in peace, Pippin. And then the next day you get the red sun rises. Blood has been spilt this night, which is interesting. 'Cause like usually like it's a red sun when it's like really smoky out, right? Like that's a fog thing, which could make sense with like war and fire and all that,
Yeah, I think the only thing I know about sunrises and whatever is like that thing that I barely know about like the ocean, and if there's like a storm coming or whatever. There's like some sort of rhyme about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you should, dude.
Okay.
You should know about it.
Yeah, I love the Rohirrim, which is a great name. Riding up, Aragorn calls out to them, immediately surrounds them. Nice little back and forth where Gimli doesn't want to give his name. Aramir is like, if you stood a little taller from the ground, I'd cut your head from your shoulders or something. I love Legolas' response here. You would die before your stroke fell. He got the bow in his face immediately. Very cool. And yeah, just showing the companionship that's growing between, our main crew.
Hell yeah. Our fucking boys, dude.
Our boys. And yeah, I like, this is something I do remember in the books that I really enjoyed is the mysterious white wizard who is seen cloaked, like just garbed as an old man walking around in like, he's talking about how cunning he is and how all of his spies and how he's doing all these things in the shadows. It's a really nice red herring for like, oh no, it's Gandalf.
Yeah, for sure. It is great. The phrase is red sky at night, sailors delight. Red sky at morning, sailors take warning.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it must just have to do with the density of air and stuff, the cloud coverage affecting the colors.
Man, I don't question these things. I just take them for gospel.
That's fair. Yeah, and he's telling them that the Urks were destroyed. They left none alive. That's very sad.
Yeah, they're all like, "Fuck, man, these guys are dead." I do like again, fucking my guy Carl Urban. He seems so hopeless. He's just like, this is which is interesting because he is hopeless, but they're still like riding around like fucking killing orcs, which I think is nice, right? Like it
It's
is
part
this
of the
thing of
theme,
like where
right?
I'm hopeless, but like I only know how to fucking like ride a horse and kill things, so I might as well keep doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, his line, do not, or yeah, he tells him, do not trust a hope. They have forsaken these lands.
Then we see them riding to go check on the burning corpses,
I
right?
do love that they give him the horses after they
Yeah.
realize their friends are dead. And another just like crazy thing, and I think speaks like it's nice world building with the like the Rohirrim and the Rohan people in general, is that he just whistles and calls the horses by name. Nobody even brings the horses up. They just both run up and they're like, "Here you go."
Yeah, they just have such a like
Bond.
intimate connection
Yeah.
to these animals.
Love that.
Um yeah, when I was in Japan, I had horse sashimi.
Oh,
It was really good.
yeah, interesting. That's
The fr-
intense.
Why?
Just like sashimi's raw, right?
Yeah.
Raw horse. That's intense.
Yeah, I also had raw chicken. It's not intense. It's normal over there.
It's intense for me.
Well, I thought it was delicious. If you're ever in Japan or if you're ever in Rohan, you know, slice up a little. I'm sure they probably eat horse in Rohan. I mean, like, you know, the old horses when they die.
I mean, Mongolians, like Mongolian riders, nomadic Mongolian, they would live off their horses, like, and they grew up in the saddle of the horses. Like, they kind of worship their horses, but yeah, you know, they also,
I mean, you can't
Ate 'em.
waste stuff, you know.
yeah,
Can't waste stuff. Gimli's digging through the burnt corpses. They find the belt, and we have. I love throughout these movies, like Legolas, like always sort of like doing these like little prayers, like when certain things
I
happen.
noticed that too. Yeah.
Always like really nice little like asides. But I love immediately Aragorn like starts. Well, Aragorn flips out first, but then he starts doing his ranger shit, and you know, like he's like on the
Yeah.
ground and he's like smelling, and he's like looking, and I love this shit because it reminds you like this guy isn't just like a skilled fighter. He has like all of these extra like things that he can do, like
Yeah.
this vision.
This familiarity with the landscape and how to track and all these things.
This scene definitely feels like what has inspired like give me a fucking like perception check like and
Yeah.
the Rangers just like oh you can like you see the blood and like all that shit feels very like feels very classic, very visceral, but I love the way that he starts reading the signs and then
Yeah.
it transitions
Yes.
back to that night.
The way it goes back and forth is super cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they broke their bonds. Okay. And like the way he keeps gaining hope as he sees, because at first he's just like, oh, there was hobbits here. Oh, wait, they crawled away. Oh, wait, they broke their bonds.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then like it keeps following it. Like,
But again, of course, with all of these things in this sort of like series, then we get to the point where it's like, oh, and then they ran into Fangorn, and Gimli's like, what fucking madness would drive you to fucking run in there? And just very subtle setting up of like, this is like a freaky place.
yeah, I've always thought that was kind of a dumb line though, because it's like, the battle dummy running for their lives.
But it's just further highlighting
yeah.
how dangerous of a place it is.
I get why
right?
it's there, but it's just always struck me as like, what do you mean? Why did they run in there? But I also love at the beginning of this moment, you got Gimli, they pull out the belt, and he's like, it's one of their wee belts. Just calling it a wee belt is really funny to me. And then, yeah, Legolas says a prayer, Aragorn breaks his foot. Of course, very famously, Viggo Mortensen broke his foot when he kicked that helmet, which is brutal. But what a champ. I think he carried out the rest of the scene with a broken foot.
We have a wipe, which is this kind of transition into Merry and Pippin running through Fangorn. You know, and then we see that they're being chased by this bad guy. I think is he supposed to be a goblin or an orc? I don't know.
I don't know how. I honestly don't know if orcs and goblins are actually different things in the lore, or if they're just called goblins more often in The Hobbit, and then they're called orcs more often in Lord of the Rings.
Well, they are because in the movies at least they definitely are because he says that he crosses goblins with orcs
Oh,
to
you're
create
right.
the Urukai.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't tell you who's a goblin and who's an orc. I mean, I would guess like the dudes crawling on the walls in Moria, like that seems kind of goblin-y to me, but like I don't know, they all kind of look like orcs to me.
Maybe that makes us racist. Sorry to any of our goblin listeners or our orc listeners out there. We apologize. we have enrolled in some sensitivity training, diversity training. So we'll get back to you after we know the difference between an orc and a goblin.
Yes, sir. I do remember this part in the book because I thought it was really funny. I'm pretty sure after Merry and Pippin escape in the woods, they get like kind of tuckered out pretty quick, and they like decide to like sit down to have a snack like while the battle is raging outside. And then like Aragorn tracks and like finds the leftover of their food, and he's like, "Damn hobbits."
That's pretty good. I love that Merry and Pippin are like, let's climb a fucking tree, and very cool the way like you first see the Ent, like his face,
Yeah,
and the way Pippin falls and he like catches him.
the ends
Then,
look
like,
great, man. Again, it's just for this year, it's just crazy how good the special effects are.
yeah, they look pretty good. And he grabs Merry, he stomps on the fucking bad guy. Love that. Deus Ex Tree Machina.
Yeah,
This is Treebeard, of course. And I love that he's like never like heard of a Hobbit as well.
Yeah.
I did note that the CGI is definitely noticeable.
yeah,
But it looks good and fun.
Yeah.
And it reminds me, it's almost this moment in this very sort of like grittily shot thing that reminds me that this is sort of like a fairy tale, that it is like a fantastical thing. So it's almost like using the uncanniness of it like as a storytelling, like part of the storytelling, which
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Yeah, it does look noticeable to me, but like I don't know, I think it's just like the way they do it with the lighting, and like it almost looks like some of the vegetation on it is actually real, and like they're using something and blending it with the CGI. Like little things like that I think really elevated a lot, where a lot of like modern stuff looks more blatantly CGI to me than this, which is crazy, 23 years later.
Yeah, for sure. I think it just has to do with like the techniques and like
Yeah.
maybe just the care that's actually put into it. And then we have here again, the White Wizard will know, like, because he like Treebeard is kind of like dubious of the hobbits. He thinks maybe there's some
little
sort,
orcs.
yeah, he thinks there's some like weird
Which
like
is so
orcs or
funny.
something.
And I just gotta point out, it's always been so funny to me that he's like, "Tree, I am no tree. My name is Treebeard." It's just like the next question.
But yeah, the hobbits clearly. I think maybe Merry even says, "Oh, Saruman, fuck, dude,
Yeah.
not good."
Yeah, and you also get a little plight from Treebeard here, how nobody's on the tree side anymore. Nobody cares about the woods.
I'm not on anybody's side because no one's on my side.
Yeah, and I like when they're like, "No, we're hobbits," and he's like, "Sounds like orc mischief to me." Really funny.
Next scene is Gollum leading Sam and Frodo. He leads them into the swamp, and I love this thing, the Dead Marshes.
Yeah.
So fucking cool because
Yeah, it's very cool.
And I love how he's like, orcs don't go this way, and you very clearly are like, oh, I understand why they don't go this way because it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
All the random fires too, like, and I love again, you just see the sort of scene, and then at one point I think like Gollum says sort of like something like, you'll light little candles of your own. Very good, like little
Yes.
like line to just like
Yeah.
to kind of explain and also like ask more questions about what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really want to reread these two. Just because, like, yeah, I want to remember what is going on in these marshes exactly. Like, I knew there was a big battle here, but like, I want more lore with the little candles and the lights and like what that is. It feels very like Siren inspired,
And this is when we first hear Gollum say, "Don't follow the lights."
Yes.
In the next scene, they're camping, sleeping there, which is terrifying by itself.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, Frodo falls in too, and we have the whole eyes like opening and the ghost surrounding him and Gollum pulling him out, and then it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's right, yes. And then he while they're sleeping, while Sam is sleeping, Frodo's like stroking the ring.
Yeah, which is great
I
escalation.
fucking hate it. It's so fucking weird.
It's really disturbing, but I love it. And then like, yeah, you hear Golem almost like, again, it's almost like this like hive mind thing going on with the ring, where it's almost like Golem can sense like Frodo being pulled in by the ring, and it puts him back into his own state of like praising the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very trippy.
We have some like an exchange between Gollum and Frodo, where Frodo brings up, that he wasn't very different from a hobbit once, and he uses his name. He calls him Smeagol.
And Golem is just like responding with this crazy poem, like which is very Tolkien, where Frodo's like interrogating him and he's just like kind of aggressively saying this poem back at him.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of like trying to like not acknowledge
Yeah.
it, but acknowledging it like through like a backdoor channel.
Yeah.
Um,
But also just like what a intellectual little monster he is.
yeah, I mean, he was a person. He was Andy. He looked like Andy Serkis before. Andy Serkis with long hair.
Yeah, yeah.
I do love though that sets up him being snapped out, like almost like he's like saying all this, and then he says Smeagol, and immediately he's like, "What did you call me?"
Yeah, the realization. I love, yeah, just like the vagueness of it, like almost like he heard this in a dream once or something. Like it's so vaguely familiar the way he just keeps repeating, my name, my name.
This is
my name."
maybe one of the CGI moments that most takes me out of it because there's this close up and it does look very, very Didge. And so many things look so good. Like you said, the ends look great. So this moment, watching it, having that very like critical eye, I was like, like I'm slightly taken out of it.
For sure.
But immediately, and then again, perhaps this is I don't know if it was a consideration, but Black Riders,
Yeah.
like that. I feel like okay, I'm back in. Like I was never gone. I was always here.
Wraiths on Wings, Golem calls it, which I love.
It's great. It's awesome. Calling for the precious.
Yeah, yeah, they are calling for it. Yeah, just that they're so good. Every time they show up, it's so
Yeah.
sick, so scary. The music's so good.
And again, with the thing of like in these scenes, making sure to take the time to give each sort of character like a moment. Frodo reaching for the ring and then Sam like pulling his hand away and like reassuring him like as they're like hiding.
Yeah.
Very good stuff.
Yeah, and just like Sam being like, I thought they were dead. Dead. You cannot kill them. Like,
Yeah.
all that's so good.
And they're getting closer to the Black Gate as well.
Yeah.
The Gimli tasting the orc blood.
Off the leaf, yeah.
Yeah, so fucking, and the fact that he knows it's orc blood by like tasting it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, and Aragorn notices the strange tracks, right? He sees the Ents tracks and he's like, what the fuck is this?
And Legolas's line is okay. The two lines here are so great.
Yeah.
The air is so close in here, and then
Yeah.
Legolas saying, "This forest is old, very old, full
Yeah.
of memory and anger."
Yeah, and that's like kind of what I was talking about, how they keep giving them each like a little moment here, right? We got Gimli with the blood, Aragorn doing the tracks, Legolas waxing poetic about the nature of the forest and everything.
My preferred thing from this is Gimli saying the air is so close in here. Like that just seems really speaks to like I think some of that wisdom we don't see.
Yeah, good point.
Like this way of like putting it, like where it is like I don't even really know what it means, but I know what it means.
Claustrophobic, right? Yeah, it's like if like the weight of the trees are
No, I think
bearing
he's
down
talking
on
about
them.
the oxygen molecules are like just like more densely packed. Like we're
Yes,
getting almost
probably,
to like
probably.
a semi-liquid state with the
Right.
gas.
Yeah, little chunky breaths going on.
Yeah, no, Gimli is a chemist by trade, and I don't mean a pharmacist.
I do like picturing him like he is with the mail that's too big for him later going down his feet. I like him
He's
in
a mailman.
with like a lab coat on that's just dragging across the floor. And he's
It'd
got
be
some
really,
flaps.
it'd be pretty good. It'd be pretty good. Still love just the factoid that he's the tallest member of the fellowship,
Yeah,
but like, yeah, but
I heard, I remember in the behind the scenes, like his makeup was an absolute nightmare. It was like 4 hours, like every time he went on set or something ridiculous like that.
wow, the sacrifices.
Brutal. The White Wizard approaches.
Yeah, great stuff. I love Aragorn's like, all right, dude, don't let him talk. We're gonna fuck shit up. And the way he like
Yeah.
handles the three of them so easily.
Blocks the axe, blocks the arrow, like burns up Aragorn's sword. It's so interesting too because his magic is so reserved so often, but it's like here, it's like on full display, you know?
Yes, it's a little like I feel like
It's confusing. Like,
it's like when you think about it logically, like in certain scenes like or like conflicts, you're like, okay, like
why don't you use this shit all the time?
Yeah, why don't you use this shit all the time?
Yeah, totally. I have the same thought. I so much of it I just take as like destiny and free will, and it was like destiny that he needed to defend himself against these heroes, but like most of the time it's like he needs to let man's power like win the day kind of thing. And I love the dual like clever choice. It's like kind of a little too much of a red herring in some ways, but it works. The Gandalf Saruman like double voice, like it's both of their voices
Oh, it's
speaking each
amazing.
other.
It's
Yeah.
so well done.
Yeah.
The morphing between the two voices, making it more ambiguous, I think is so sick. Like we're talking so much about visual effects.
Yeah.
Like again, like audio doesn't really get enough love aside from us glazing the score, but like so sick. Like I such a great trick. You know, a little trick, and like, but I love it.
Yeah, very effective with the blinding white light. And I love when they realize it's Gandalf. They all like bow to him, or at least Legolas and Gimli, I think, bow to him, which is just like,
Legolas instantly takes a knee and bows his head.
yeah. And I think that's like, I think that's another good visual representation of this overwhelming presence the new Gandalf the White brings, right? Like this is now a much more powerful being than he was before.
Yeah, for sure. And I love Aragorn. You fell through fire and water.
One of the
From
best
the
scenes.
lowest dungeon to the highest peak, I fought the Balrog of Morgoth.
It's so sick.
Until at last I drew down my enemy and smote down his ruin upon the mountainside.
The way he says that line and smote his ruin upon the mountainside with so much disdain in his
Yeah.
voice. Oh,
Darkness took me,
Yeah.
and I strayed out of thought and time. So fucking good. Again, here, more obvious CGI, but we were talking about how it's a fun Diablo sort of thing. And so, like, he's looking at him, and I'm like, this is me fighting the final boss in, like, Diablo 2. Like,
exactly, yeah.
But again, you know, I think that's something I'm growing to, like, realize, too. Like, I mean, I think I've always kind of been, like, a person who, like, is, I have this, like, strong suspension of like disbelief, and I have this ability to kind of like push things aside. So when things bother me, like it has to be kind of, there has to be a certain level of egregiousness to it.
Sure.
And just being like, oh, I'm noticing this, but like I'm okay noticing this because of this, right? Like,
Right.
So I like that. Like, I just love the look of it. It is like, it is scary, but also like, you know, clearly like, again, a digital asset, but very, very fun part.
Yeah, it looks great. I love the way he looks when all his flames go out and he's just like this black corpse on the mountainside. It looks really cool.
Very cool.
And yeah, his line, every day as long as the life age of the earth. I love that line because it's just like hard to
Yeah.
even comprehend what that means or what that's like.
Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. Definitely my favorite is that I think maybe my favorite line of the whole movie is I strayed out of thought and time.
Yeah, it's really good. And he was sent back until his task is done.
And then he calls him Gandalf, and he's like, "Oh, dude, yeah, they I think they called me that."
Yeah, which is an interesting parallel since the last scene was Golem, like remembering his name, right? I wonder if that's intentionally set up like that back to back.
This movie's about identity, dude. About
Yeah.
identity politics.
Yeah. Yeah, but now he's like Gandalf the Grey. Well, I'm Gandalf the White.
Yeah.
And then, oh man, Shadowfax, Lord of Horses. Are you kidding me? So cool.
Shadowfax, very fucking cool. Very,
love
very
that
fucking
name.
cool.
I
I just
this.
love the way he also whistles for Shadow.
Yeah.
It's like, and a fucking sick whistle.
Yeah, and just the like, oh yeah, when they're riding across the field here, just the music that comes in, like, I don't know, it just always hits me hard, man. It's so epic, so like hopeful. Yeah, and then we get the Treebeard hanging out with the hobbits. It's a really quick scene, but he's just talking about how like the forest is angry. He's gonna take him to the root of the mountains where his home is. Good stuff.
Yeah, and I also like him saying that the when he says that the trees are angry, he says that they would harm the hobbits if they could.
Yeah. Well, it's setting up a lot of threat here, and there's a lot of extended edition stuff with like Merry and Pippin almost get like swallowed by a tree, which is kind of from the Fellowship of the Ring books. So like they're throwing in stuff. There's a couple of things that get cut from the books and then is brought into this movie, in Two Towers specifically from Fellowship. But yeah, quick scene, and then we're at the Black Gates of Mordor.
Yeah, there's also the line where he says that there's too few Ents left to manage them.
Yeah.
Again, like those like little throwaway lines that imply so much about like the breadth of the world.
Yeah, and the lore on the Ents I'll just go into really quick because I think it's super cool. In the Silmarillion, so there's like all the what are they called? The Valar? Is that like the demigods?
There's the the Ainur and then the Maiar. The Maiar is
Oh, the
like
Ainur is who I'm thinking of.
Gandalf is like a Maiar, like the angels.
Yeah, so the Ainur are like the demigods of this world, and they kind of like built up Valinor and Middle Earth and all that. And basically, what was happening is that the men were coming in and destroying the wilderness, and like the goddess, this Ainur of the woods, comes to kind of the head Ainur, who is
Sorry, I think Ainur is the Valar and the Maiar. So the Valar are the
okay,
like the
Valar.
yes.
Yeah. So then there's kind of like a king of the Valar, sort of. He's like he lives at like a mountaintop, and the eagles are his. So every time the eagles show up, that's kind of an extension of like the head of the Valar, basically. But anyways, so this one Valar comes to him being like so sad, like crying, basically, like the men are destroying the wilderness, and he's so moved by her that he's like, I will give you these guardians to like protect your lands. And that's the origin of the Ents, which is super cool.
Very, very cool, guys.
Yeah. At the Black Gates of Mordor, I freaking love the trolls opening the doors. I've always thought that was just like such a cool little lore addition. Sam fallen, then we get
And Smeagol calling himself Smeagol.
yeah, he's changed.
Yeah, no, it feels like like a character arc. You know, very, very. Yeah, I don't know. It feels very something about it when you hear him do it. You're like, oh man, okay, like I believe that this guy can change as well.
Right. I've always thought this scene was weird spatially. I don't know if I don't think it's like told to you very well visually, because it's like you see Sam fall, you see like the hill, you see the dust coming down the hill, and then you see the troops looking at the hill, but it doesn't make any sense like visually why they don't see where they're sitting. They never show that there's something in the way of where they are before, like they're just showing them walking up and then them on the ground, and you can't see why they're like not visible to them.
Yeah, it was a weird, like I love the way that like it looks like just like a rock for sure, but like it is like one of those things where I am a little like could have put like a little bit more effort into making it like I don't know, like
Spatially work. There
setting
should be like a
everything up.
rock in the way before they walk up, because like I like that the cloak covers them, but
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
understand why they can't see them when like Frodo's running down the hill after Sam and stuff, because it doesn't look like they shouldn't be able to see him. So I don't know. Yeah, and Gollum stops them from running in a like super bad plan from Frodo and Sam. Like you were just gonna run through the front door
Yeah.
behind all these guys and think that was gonna fly. Like that wasn't gonna work, guys.
And this is an army of Easterlings as
Yeah.
well. These
Yeah.
are the people from the east.
Yeah, and I don't think
And they
that's,
look sick. They
they
look
do.
really cool.
I love the armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this is in the books. I think they arrive at the Black Gate and they're like, yeah, we can't go through here. Let's go somewhere else. So another like kind of thrown in thing to ramp up the tension of them trying to go in, but it also just like you could tell it doesn't make any sense. That's why it's not in the book, you know.
Yeah, are there moments where they like utilize the camouflage of the cloaks though?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Also, I just saw something here that apparently the creator of the Ents is Yavanna,
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
but they call her Kementari because, of course, that we mentioned that last episode. There's so much of like one name for one thing, one name for another. You know.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like names in different languages known by different peoples, like throughout the lands and stuff, you know. Which is fun. Like that's something Treebeard does get into. Is like, especially in the books, just like, oh well, goes by this name and this goes by this name, or like I would tell you my name, but it takes too long to say because
Yeah.
I've lived a long time and our names keep growing.
Yeah, I do love that. That is very cool. I wish it was in the movie, but hey, you know, you don't have time for everything.
Yeah, it might be an extended. Yeah, and I love Golem just being like, don't take it to him. We mustn't let him have it.
Yeah, I do. It's very interesting that like sort of like where he's like, you know, just Gollum as like a character and like his motivations and how he views the different people, including like Sauron. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, well, like again, like him stopping them, it feels like there's a little bit of him actually trying to protect the hobbits here, but like the underneath it is just like, no, I don't want the ring I don't want to lose the ring, you know.
Yeah. He tells them that there's a secret way, the path with some stairs and a tunnel, you know, like, and they're like, hell yeah, let's fucking do it. Well, Frodo is.
Yeah, Sam's like, no. Like
Yeah.
he just keeps saying no over and over again.
Gollum like is like during this part like reaching at Frodo and like touching
Pawing at him.
It's
Yeah.
like very creepy.
Yeah.
But I think practically it grounds the CGI with the live action. So I think from a technical aspect I like that.
Right.
Again, just because something's unsettling and I say I hate it doesn't mean that I like don't want to see it.
Right. Yeah, they arrive at Edoras, the crew, Aragorn and gang.
I had GALG. I was using their initials.
Oh wait, maybe. Okay, yeah. They are arriving, and then this is when
Yeah.
Eowyn tells Theoden that his son's dead.
Yeah.
And that's when the crew rides up, and we get Eowyn crying over her dead cousin.
Well, I think like you even have a line where I think Gandalf says Theoden's mind has been overthrown.
Yeah.
And then we see Eowyn telling Theoden that his son is dead. And then Gandalf is like, "All right, be careful what you say." Like as they continue, because they're like stopped on a hill, I think, looking out at it.
Yeah. And then we got this amazing scene with Wormtongue coming in, like the Shakespearean dialogue here. I think is on point. The line, like he's basically telling her how fair and cold she is, and he's like a morning of pale spring still clinging to winter's chill. Ooh.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like
That's an
really,
awesome
I was just sitting there like just blown away.
Yeah, I love that little monologue. And she's just like, "Your words are poison."
Yeah, Miranda Otto, I like. I like Eowyn as a character, very cool. Especially the way she comes in to play in Return of the King. But
Yeah. So I don't think the romance between her and Aragorn is in the books.
Yeah, I
so
didn't think it was. Yeah.
So they think they're leaning on, again, kind of like just trying to bring in more drama and stuff. And I do like it, but I'm also like, it kind of diminishes her character a little bit because so much of it is just like her, being a choose me kind of like character in the story. Pick me. Yeah, and I love her running outside.
This is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
This is I think my favorite song of the entire
The Rohan theme.
Yeah, the Riders of Rohan, and the way that it's so perfectly timed here.
Yeah.
With the like flag being ripped off
Yeah.
and blown away, and the violin taking the theme there.
Yeah, it's so good.
So fucking good.
I love it.
The way Aragorn notices it too on the ground and stops to look at it before he like goes in.
Yeah, so much like it, it's very on the nose symbolism, but it's just like perfect.
Well, I'm also just like thinking like he may be thinking about like his own kingdom.
Yeah,
Like, thinking
that's a
about
good point.
Gondor and
Yeah.
like thinking about like how this is what happens when like a leader doesn't lead, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I definitely am like immediately thinking like, all right, like, are you gonna fucking step up? Are you gonna put the fucking crown on? You know?
Right, totally. And Edoras looks amazing. They
Yeah.
built this whole town on this hill. Like, what the hell, man? Did you need to make a whole town for this scene? But they did, and it looks awesome.
Feels very feels very like Elder Scrolls,
Yeah.
like kind of Skyrim
Yeah,
to me.
yeah,
you
the
know?
main capital in Skyrim, totally. I wouldn't be surprised if that's just like a direct inspiration for that town.
Yeah. The line, you'll find more cheer in a graveyard, you
Yeah,
know.
good line.
Also kind of reminding me a little bit of when they pulled into Bree with just like everybody sort of like staring at
Oh
them.
yeah.
But this is like I don't know if so much suspicion or just like hopelessness.
Yeah, the Bree felt menacing, like they're strangers in a weird world. This just feels like you're coming on like a broken people.
I love how quickly this all happens. Like, again, because the questions about like, oh, like Gandalf's powers and everything, like especially in the scene before with him where we see him so handily like defeat these three great warriors. I love how they just like walk in and basically like cast Saruman out, kick fucking Grima out. I also love how the guards like don't try to stop them. There's like the weird group of like thugs, but like the guard that greets them immediately keeps his like men back from like interfering.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure because you see that when they first walk in, I think it's the Hill Tribe folks have found their way into the court because they're kind of dressed differently, and so like it's like the soldiers of Rohan are the ones who are kind of staying back, like,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
this isn't our fight, and then the Hill
Exactly.
Tribe folks are the ones who are getting into the tumble. I also just a great moment of them all getting disarmed. He's like, "You wouldn't part an old man from his walking stick," and the
Yeah,
way he
great line.
delivers that line is so good. And the
And then
wink.
after that, Legolas like is helping him, like he's like giving him like a helping arm to
Yeah, I
walk.
really like that.
They're really hamming it up.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, just this epic showdown. The dialogue back and forth between Wormtongue and Gandalf is so good. Late is the hour this conjurer chooses to appear.
Yeah.
And he just fucking smokes Wormtongue. It's so good. He keep your be silent. Keep your forked tongue behind your teeth. And then this line, I have not passed through fire and death to bandy crooked words with a witless worm.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's great.
And then he pulls out the staff. I love it.
I do also love the lath spell I name him.
Yeah.
And then we also get like Gandalf Greyheim and we get the Gandalf Stormcrow thing. I love how they both like
Yeah.
call him different names.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, and just like a really visually cool wizard fight where it's just like this exorcism of sorts. And I love the way it's done. Like where you can, I think it is Christopher Lee's voice coming through here. It might be another mix, but more leaning towards Christopher Lee's voice, where he's just like, Rohan is mine, all this.
Yeah.
And he's like, I will draw
That's actually
you from.
Bernard Hill doing his Christopher Lee impersonation.
I mean, it's a pretty good one.
No, I'm just joking. That'd
It
be
could be,
that'd
it
be
could
good
be.
though. No, I'm almost certain that's just Christopher Lee's voice.
And yeah, him saying like, I will draw you out as poison is drawn from a wound. And just so satisfying to see Saruman get like tossed out of him. I love that cut where he pushes him back, like Theoden rises and he pushes him down with magic, and like it just cuts to Saruman getting thrown backwards. I love that.
It also really helps the viewer understand the level of Gandalf's like power at this
Yeah.
point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, a great like it's like a big like sweeping orchestral moment where he takes off the cloak and blinds him. He like you have no power here, Gandalf the Grey. Boom, Gandalf the White is here, baby.
Yeah, it's really great. There's the nice little visual transformation of Theoden from like the frail, mindless wisp into like an actual fucking king.
Yeah, the makeup looks insane on him for the old man version. Like
The transformation looks pretty fucking good.
It
dude.
really does. Yeah,
I'm the one over here, like, you know, like picking nits, dude. I was very, very.
It looks
I was
good.
like, it looks sick. The way he breathes, like, he says, "Breathe the free air again, friend," and then the fucking theme.
Yeah.
Again, it's such like a proud and tragic theme.
Yeah,
It's just so fucking good.
so full of hope.
And then they were like, dude, you gotta hold your fucking sword, bro. Maybe that'll
Yes.
remind you. And immediately I'm thinking, fuck, he doesn't know his son is dead.
Yeah, and I just so like when the flag blowing scene, we get like a hint of the theme. It's just the very beginning of it, but this is the first time we get like the full theme is him pulling out the sword, and it's just so triumphant and, like you said, kind of like full of melancholy and like sadness with a bit of hope. Yeah, one of the best themes for sure. Yeah, and then we get him tossing Wormtongue down the stairs.
He wants to kill him.
Yeah, and this has always just felt weird to me. Enough blood has been spilt. Don't kill him. Let him go. And it's like, come on, you got to do something with these kind of people. You can't just like let all your enemies go. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, he has a part to play still. I mean, you know, you're telling me about how much of this is
No, I know.
destiny and all of them conforming to the will of Iluvatar. So I mean, Gandalf the White knows better than me. You know?
Absolutely. It's definitely there intentionally. It's just practically like just throw him in a cell or
I
something.
think it also
man.
shows like I kind of love like the like almost like he's just like this gross little dude. Who cares? Like fuck
Yeah.
him. Like I think it feels so very like dismissive, which is perhaps foolhardy but very fun.
Yeah. Just, it doesn't.
The way how quickly he leaves is so fucking funny. They just like look away and they look back and the horse is running away.
Get out of my way.
And that is the moment where we do have the where's Theodred, right?
Yeah.
And like
Where is
cutting
my son?
cutting to him saying a white symbol mine. You know, and saying
Beautiful
ever has
scene.
it grown on the tomb of my forebears. I
love it.
have always remembered this
Yeah,
part and
it's
always
powerful.
like it's always stuck with me. I think probably one of the of the whole trilogy, the image that has most stuck with me. And I think I was a little tired. Usually this would like fuck me up, but I was trying to fucking soldier through the fucking movie. And just the fucking no parent should have to bury their child. I like reference that probably the most out of anything I reference
Wow.
in these movies, just because it had such a huge impact on me.
Yeah, just talking about how like you said, the flowers, and now these flowers will cover my son's
Yeah.
grave, and these evil days shall be mine. I shall live to see the last days of my house, and all these things. It's like just really good, powerful stuff. Really setting up. Theoden is a really good character. I do want to shout out in the extended. There's like a more of a burial scene you get, and you get Eowyn singing like a really pretty song that leads into this moment, which I think makes it even hit like harder.
And Gandalf, the way that Gandalf speaks to Theoden in this part, or I think he says some words.
Yeah, he's comforting him. He said he was strong-willed in life. He'll
Yes.
find his way to your forefathers.
It sounds
basically.
like he's talking to Theodred, like the way he says it, like almost giving him these like guiding words, like ushering him on to like the next life. And as far as like pacing and flow and being depressed and like things that are sad and like good moments, like uplifting moments, well timed that Gandalf notices the kid messengers, you know, arriving on their horse.
I like him falling off his horse as soon as they pull up. It just like really shows how hard the journey was here and how exhausted he is, and just like how good of an older brother he is, that he gave everything he got to get his sister here, and as soon as she's here, he just like collapses off his horse. You know,
great shit. We see we're building some more, you know, empathy, some more sympathy, some more thinking Eowyn is cool and a good person because she's caring for the kids, you know.
Yeah.
They mentioned that the attack. And Gandalf is encouraging Theoden. He's like, we have to fight. We have to like go out and fucking ride, like meet these fools.
And he says, I will not risk open war, which is some stupid shit.
But I think like visually, Gandalf is sitting to his right, and he's touching him and whispering in his ear, like it's like a mirroring of Grima. Like I think like
he doesn't want to be influenced.
I'm thinking like this guy has been like under someone's spell for so long. Like he's like, I need to make decisions for my own. And yeah, I mean, I totally get like, you know, he doesn't want to risk open war, but dude, like this isn't like a matter of like politics and like, oh no, we'll like figure out a way to deal with the orcs. No, they're gonna come for you eventually.
It's what Aragorn says. Open war is upon you, whether you want it or not. You know, like, which is like, they're burning your towns. Like, this is war, baby. You're in it.
They also do mention like logistic wise, we need to get Éomer, and they're like, nah, he's too far away, dude. He's probably like miles away. He's probably like halfway to California by now.
Yeah, there's a lot of little changes in the books here where it's actually Gandalf's idea to go to Helm's Deep, and Theoden resists that. And so it's very interesting here that like Gandalf is like, no, that's the bad idea. He's going into a trap in here, and then it's not Éomer. Éomer is just like kept captive, and it's like someone else that's they're gonna go get an army of. Like a lot of little changes like that, but yeah. But yeah, they decide to go to Helm's Deep, and Gandalf is going to set off to find Éomer, and he tells Aragorn, like, hey, Theoden's going to need you by the end. Like, time to step up, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the line he says, somebody says, like, I think maybe he even said the Grey Pilgrim, and then he says, 300 lives of men I walked this earth, and now I have no time. Again, just showing the sense of skill. Like, this guy's lived so long, but like these moments are sort of like what are going to define all of like Middle Earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also get the, you know, first light of the 5th day at dawn, look to the east.
Yep. And then a nice scene of Eowyn practicing with her sword.
Yeah, for sure. I want to shout out you because you had mentioned it. It is Manwë is the king of the Arda of the Valar.
Yeah, Manwë is sick. But yeah, every time the eagles show up, that's like the direct work of Manwë, basically.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture with him with an eagle like on his fucking forearm, and he's holding a big sword. He looks sick as fuck.
Yeah, he's a badass. He's kind of like the main antagonist to Morgoth, like the first Lord of Darkness. Like basically the second most powerful of the Valar besides Morgoth. So like there's this kind of contention between them in the lore. Yeah, and nice scene with Éowyn and
they're brothers.
Aragorn.
Him and Melkor are brothers.
Well, aren't all the Valars basically siblings?
I don't think so.
Because they're all the children of Ilúvatar. Like they don't have parents.
they specifically shout out husband of Arda and brother of the Dark Lord Melkor.
Interesting. Yeah, and so Aragorn's asking Eowyn what she fears. She's not afraid of death. She says she fears a cage. And I really like this line. Like, I don't want to live my life behind bars. All chance of valor has gone beyond recall or desire. Like, that's a good way to sum up, like, feeling, like, being afraid that you can't even imagine what it's like to be like, to have valor anymore. Like, that's cool.
I remember as like a kid, what the sort of planting of the seeds of this whole sort of like second romance thing. I remember being like, I don't like that. He's like in a relationship with Arwen, right? And then the way that in the movie, like I'm thinking of that, and then there's like a scene later on where it's showing them like breaking up. I'm just like, okay. I mean, I don't really need this. I don't need like a female character and a male character to like be like interested in each other romantically to like engage with like the movie. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people have that critique of it. I have mixed feelings about it. Like I said, I do think it diminishes her character a little bit. It does feel a little forced in. But I also like find it really sweet the way she kind of takes to him, and I do kind of like their connection in this movie. You
yeah,
know?
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, like, there's such a thing as like platonic friendships as well. Like,
Yeah,
so just a consideration. But yes, I think I mean, there like I still also like it a little bit. Like
yeah.
it's like now that I'm older, I and with the context and stuff, I'm like I don't mind it as much. But I remember just as a kid, like I'm like, dude, but like he's gonna marry Arwen. Why is he like cheating on her? And then like the scene comes up where it's like, oh, actually we broke up, like off screen.
Yeah, that I think
Well,
that
on
is
screen. On
yeah.
screen.
I guess there is more in the extended with that, but I think yeah, it is still like a flashback in Two Towers to actually see the breakup moment.
Grimm is telling Saruman that that they're gonna go to Helm's Deep. Says that the going will be slow. There's gonna be women and children, so they send the fucking warg riders out.
Yeah,
Those things are fucking terrifying.
they're sick. I
Yeah.
love them. Yeah, we get a really funny shot of Golem like leaping down the stream trying to catch a fish.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
Sam calls him Stinker. I like that.
Yeah, I think in the book he calls them like Slinker and Stinker. Like those are the two sides he kind of refers to Golem as.
Yeah, and Frodo's like, dude, what the fuck is up with that? Why are you being so disrespectful? And Sam's like, dude, fuck this guy. All he wants is the ring.
Yeah, and I like this a lot for Sam because he is kind of a perfect hero in every other way, but this is one of the more redeeming qualities of Frodo. Like, and as he says, I want to help him, Sam. I have to believe he can come back. So it's very much
Yeah.
Frodo like looking internally for his relationship for Gollum. But I do really like, just like, characterization wise, that Sam rejects this hypothesis that like Golem can be redeemed, and just it humanizes Sam more to me.
For sure. And then the way that he says, you can't save him, Mr. Frodo. And I think also like it's almost like I think like this thing where it's like I can't have, dude, I'm putting so much like work into like taking care of you and being there for you that like I don't have like I don't have space, I don't have room to like fucking care about this fucking, this creepy little dude.
Yeah.
And the way Frodo snaps at him is kind of like his Bilbo moment,
Yeah.
like, and he's like, what do you know? Yeah, what do you know? You know nothing,
Yeah, I like that he immediately apologizes,
Yeah.
and he's like,
I don't know why I said
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Sam says, I do. It's the ring. And then Sam is like, bro, you're all like moody. You're not eating. You're sleeping. Literally like naming the sign, like the symptoms of like depression or of like fucking drug addiction and
Yeah.
being like, dude, like this is like, there's like it's very obvious that you're like going through some shit. And Frodo's like, fuck you, dude. You don't know my life.
Yeah, and well, he says, it's my task, mine, my
Yeah.
own. And I love that warping because it's going towards calling the ring my own and
Yeah.
my precious and all
Yeah, for
this,
sure.
but it's about his task, right? And I love that, like, again, just like the subtle manipulation of the ring that we talked about in the last one, where it just kind of takes these things that are like really meaningful to you and starts to warp it towards this darker cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the next scene where they're sleeping, you see Frodo's grasping the ring.
Yeah.
And this is an I always loved this scene.
Yeah.
Thought it was a really intelligent way to shoot the dialogue, looking like there's like making it look like there's two people talking to each other.
Yeah, they're just showing the other side of the camera
Yeah, you're
angle.
doing you're doing like yeah, the coverage is just very much like how you would cover like a two-person like dialogue. and the body language is so great of
Yeah.
like because like Gollum's body language and Smeagol's body language is like so different, you know, uh, and the way that he like casts him out and the camera is like supporting like the whole like the movement of like what's going on with the character and the way that like it stops on just like him and like we don't cut back, like we have this rhythm that's
Yeah.
been set up
Yeah.
like going back and forth and
That's a
then it
good
like
point.
stops, it like halts, and then you have Smeagol doing a little fucking dance.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like the way the intensity of his inner voice like ratchets up, like where you got nobody likes you, and it's kind of funny but also a little sad, and then he calls him like liar, thief, murderer, and the way like when he calls him a murderer, like Golem just kind of like breaks down and is like, I hate you, like I hate you.
Yeah.
What have you like that to me? That's one of the most sympathetic moments in the whole trilogy for Golem.
Yeah, is it? I think it's at the beginning of the Return of the King where we see like him like killing like
Yeah.
his cousin or his friend,
Yeah, yeah.
like in his first interaction with the ring too. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's I think very tragic. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What a sad guy.
Yeah, very sad guy. And then we cut to the next morning, and Golem brings Frodo like a dead. They call them conies.
He
A
brings
brace
him a
of
couple
conies?
rabbits.
Yeah, I don't know what a coney is. It might just be a type of rabbit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get the famous stew in the tater scene. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. It's so funny how iconic that line is because it's just such a silly random line. Potatoes. And then
Yeah, but also like I just love that like he's like so because dude, this guy used to eat cooked food, right? Like he's just sort of like
yeah,
so digressed into like the whole raw diet shit, you know.
yeah,
Him and friggin' JP,
can't do
you
it.
know. Yeah.
can't do it. Yeah, I mean he's like a animal now. Can't do processed food. Frodo sees the Eastern troops.
The no, these are actually Southrons because
okay.
Oliphant I did a little bit of research.
Thank you.
Oliphants are native to the southern part, so this is the Haradrim.
Ah, gotcha.
Also, I think Diablo straight up like lives
Yeah,
that.
that was like that name sounds super familiar from something else. Whoa, sorry. It looks really beautiful outside Alfredo's apartment window right now.
You're fucking doxing me, dude. They're gonna know that I live somewhere where it's beautiful outside.
Yeah, I like Golem, like that little line of him talking about how like this is the last war, like the Great War that'll cover all the land in shadow or something like that. Just again setting up all the stakes. This movie, it really is about like ramping up the tension for the most part.
And at the same time, having Sam being like an Oliphant, no one's
Yeah.
gonna believe this back home. Like he's still,
So pure.
yeah, he's
Innocent.
almost like he's on vacation a little bit. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it ties back into his like ending lines of the movie where he's talking about like do you think they'll ever talk about us in fairy tales? Or he's like in his monologue before that where he's like,
Yeah.
it's like the great fairy tales. It's almost like he's seeing this all as like some adventure that'll be told someday. You think?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, they grew up with Bilbo, right?
Yeah,
Like
they
telling
grew
his
up with
like story.
songs and all these stories of legendary figures, and yeah, Bilbo, totally.
For sure. I feel like Bilbo to them is like the person who makes it feel like, oh, it could be anyone. It could be
Right.
me.
Right, totally.
And we see the Southrons get ambushed by archers from Gondor.
Yep, they're taken captive.
We see Faramir shoot a fool.
So this is something I don't remember a lot of in the book, but this is one thing I know fans of the books are very annoyed by, which is Faramir is done very dirty in the movies. In the books, he's pretty much just like a really awesome stand-up guy who just like helps them out and has them on their way. And this is where we get into kind of a plot pacing issue with the adaptation of the movies, which is that in the books, the two towers, like, because the books are split between the two different parties, you have like half the book is like Legolas and Aragorn and all that, and the other half is Sam and Frodo. And the ending of Sam and Frodo's story in the books is Shelob. But that's like halfway through the third movie, and the reason the pacing is off there is because they cut out the Scouring of the Shire, which is the whole climax, or like the second climax of the Return of the King. So they kind of had to fill out this part with tension and drama that's not in the books in order to get the rest of the story to align, since they cut out that ending.
Yeah, dude. Imagine if this movie was only 2 hours long.
Yeah. Well, like you wouldn't really have an arc for them without this whole Faramir thing, since they don't overcome Shelob in it. It's like you need to have something there. but is having Faramir be the antagonist the best choice? I don't know. I mean, I think it works. It's interesting, but it does his character dirty for sure.
They're marching off to, well, Sam and Frodo get caught by Faramir.
Yep.
Then after that, we have everyone marching to Helm's Deep. Gimli talking about dwarf women and how
Yeah.
they get confused for dwarf men all the time.
Yeah, like Aragorn being like, it's the beards.
Yeah, is that? I wonder if that's in the book, because this is a
I
this
don't
is a
know.
part where I'm like, oh, they're trying to like insert some levity. I don't quite know where I land on it.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Gimli's always levity, for the most part.
Because then he also falls off his horse.
Yeah.
And he says it was deliberate as
It
well.
was deliberate, yeah. Well, it does make sense that he's not a great horse rider, right? Like, that's not, like, dwarves don't ride horses. They're in
No,
the
he'd probably be
mountains,
really
you
good
know?
at like riding like a giant mole
Yeah.
or something like that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and then we get a nice moment of...
Aragorn's smoking his pipe. There's some
Well,
Arwen VO.
Right before that, I find this, I noticed it this time, where there's kind of like, some eye contact between Aragorn and Eowyn, and it's almost like Aragorn is into her, but then it makes him think of Arwen, and that's when
Yeah.
we cut to him at night with the pipe. And
Well,
he-
she's also like, there's a very interesting thing where she's smiling at him, but then like she like her face changes and she like gets super serious,
yeah,
which is almost like maybe her like realizing like, oh, like
he loves another.
or maybe like yeah, who knows? Yeah, I think because it does feel like she can see
Something.
in him that like he is like like he's not leaning into this, and I'm like a baddie, so like why isn't he like coming for me?
Totally. It's a good way to put it. Yeah, we get
I don't know if it is. It's a way to put it.
it's nighttime. He's smoking his pipe. I like that it kind of drifts. Like you hear the dream before, and then it's also, it feels like the dream is actually just a flashback, because she's telling him to go with Frodo, and then it like is also Elrond telling him to leave. So it's I kind of like that it's left ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like how much of this is a dream, how much of it is a flashback.
Yeah, I like the line to her talking about the light of the even star. It doesn't wax and wane, like
Yeah.
like I don't like I love you so fucking much and I never stop loving you. I just keep fucking loving you.
Yeah, and some good, more good character building for Aragorn, where he's just worried about his future. He says, "My path is hidden from me."
It is already laid before your feet.
Yeah, good stuff. And then we cut to the next morning, and it kind of like, full circle.
I just want to say they make out.
They make out a lot. There's
They
a lot
make
of
out.
kissing. I forgot how much they kiss each other in this scene. Yeah, the next morning, where is she? Eowyn is asking about like
Yeah.
where he got his
Yeah,
necklace.
for sure. So it definitely, I think that like turning of seriousness is her like realizing that
Yeah,
he's in love with someone else.
yeah. And then we get the scene of Elrond wanting Arwen to go to the Undying Lands,
Yeah.
and Aragorn breaking up with Arwen. And he's like, "Yo, you're an elf. I'm a man, or I'm a mortal. Like, what are you gonna do?" It was a dream, nothing more. I like that. It was a dream, nothing more. Kind of is his way of being colder in order to push her away to do the thing that he thinks is better for her.
Yeah. I like that Aragorn and Arwen are speaking in Elvish in their conversations. Elrond and Aragorn speak in man speech, common, whatever the fuck
yeah.
you want to call it. So I like that sort of like where Elrond's putting up this sort of like
That's
I
a
am
good
an
point.
elf, you're a man, whereas like with Aragorn and Arwen it is like them sharing like her language,
Yeah, I like that. And then we get the warg attack.
I think and we do like get the sort of like conclusion of like, okay, I'm gonna sail off to the Undying Lands,
Yeah. And rest in peace, Hama. I like Hama. He was the one who didn't take Gandalf's staff. He gets
Yeah.
absolutely wrecked here. And so this is a scene, that isn't in the books, but interestingly enough, it is kind of in Fellowship, where they get attacked by a bunch of orc warg riders on their way south from Rivendell, and it's actually that pushes them into the mountains. They're kind of standoff with these wargs chasing them.
To Caradhras.
To Caradhras, yes. But oh my gosh, this scene is so freaking epic. Just
Yeah.
the way the music comes in, the shot of Legolas standing on the hill as they ride over the other side, and the orc themes on full blast. It's just so good, and Legolas like leaping on top of the horse. Oh,
Yeah,
I love it all.
Very sick. I also love that Eowyn wants to stay and fight, but
Yeah.
but Theoden, I love the way that he appeals to
Yeah.
her. He's like, can you please like ensure the safety of these people? Like it's almost like
Someone needs to do that. Yeah.
I don't doubt your abilities. Like
Yeah.
I believe in your ability, but like I believe in your ability to take care of this. Like I need you to do this for me.
Right, and he's also setting her up as like, if I die in this battle, who will take care of these people if you die too? You know.
Yeah, very true. There's a lot of really fun slow mo within this scene
Yeah.
of Eowyn watching Aragorn ride off, and then we have of Legolas like shooting at the wargs. Just to point out, I don't hate slow motion.
Yeah.
This slow motion,
Yeah, very good.
well done.
Yeah, I would say overall, I thought the slow motion felt better in this movie. than
There's
the first
none
one.
of this like low frame rate
Yeah.
slow motion in this movie.
Yeah, I thought none of it really struck me as like out of place. Like it all felt pretty natural. Yeah, just I mean, amazing epic clash. I love it's I've seen this done multiple times now. I wonder I can't imagine this is the first time they've done this, but where the music is blasting and then you see the two lines charging each other, and right when they like smash, the music drops out and it's just like clashing death and violence. I've always thought that was a very like effective technique. And I love Gimli getting trapped under the pile, like under a warg, and then an orc that he breaks its neck, and then another warg.
Yeah.
It's a funny bit.
I also like I think besides being a funny bit, I love the implication that like Gimli's like hella strong.
Oh, yeah.
Like most people would be crushed by this,
Oh
right?
yeah. Hardy folk, them dwarves.
For sure. It almost made me want to be like, I wish there was more of this like blending of like we can be funny, but also we're like pointing to. I wonder if they even thought like, oh yeah, like this is funny, but also like Gimli strong, or if that's just me like putting that meaning onto it.
Yeah. Their power levels are so much higher than everyone else that it's kind of like blends in with everything. But
Yeah.
I mean, Gimli.
The way he
is
just
a killing
immediately
machine,
like the way
yeah.
he just like breaks his neck like
I mean,
immediately too.
At Helm's Deep, it's just every slash is taking down an orc. You know, he's unstoppable. Yeah. Then we get Aragorn getting caught on the rider. I've always thought this was a very cool looking scene. And you know, falling off the cliff, the orc snatches his necklace. Legolas and Gimli interrogate him, and yeah, Aragorn's dead. Rest in peace.
Yep. R.I.P.
I do like the moment of Theoden like having to take that in and kind of like,
Tells them to leave the dead.
yeah, you know, and he sees the pain on Legolas, and he just, you know, he's like, yo, this is what we got to do. And he's right. What are you going to do? You can't, we got to protect these people, get them to Helm's Deep. You know, we don't have time to look for bodies. And yeah, arriving at Helm's Deep, another just like absolutely insane set, dude. Like, it looks like they built a fucking castle. Like, did they? Is that like, did they build a whole castle? Because it sure looks like it. And then we get the children reuniting with their mom, which is very cute.
Great little shot.
I
yeah.
love the through line for like the rest of the movie of the common folk just like at Helm's Deep and in the caves and being
Yeah.
pulled into the battle. I think all of that is extremely
Well,
effective.
I mean, they're just women and young like children, because you see all the boys like they're like boys who look as young as like 10, like
Yeah.
fucking like holding swords and
Yeah.
shit later on.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean too. Just like them being pulled into it is
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
biggest like.
All the men are either too old or too young. I think they say something about they've
too
seen
many seasons are not enough, or too many winters are not enough
Yeah.
winters. Yeah, really good stuff. Yeah, and Theoden returns. So few, Eowyn says, which is interesting. It's you never really get a scale of how many they lost in that fight. But the implication that like, oh, we're even weaker now than we were before, and we
Yeah.
weren't doing great to start with.
And then they tell her that Aragorn has fallen.
Yeah. And this is always, like I said, that whole battle's not even in the book from what I remember. So this has always felt like another thing kind of forced in. Like it feels like there's more padding in this one. But again, it works. Like I kind of like Aragorn coming later and like, you know, rising. Like it gives Aragorn this another level of like badassery he has to overcome in order to fight the battle.
Yeah, because is this not in the book, him dying?
I don't think that whole. I think they just go straight to Helm's Deep basically.
Nice. I like how efficient that is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that version of this movie.
Well, I think originally they're, like I said, they're going somewhere else. I forget. They're not going to Helm's Deep, and then I think they I forget what happens, but they end up going to Helm's Deep after that.
We have Theoden ordering the troops take the women and children to the caves, and we have over this a J-cut of Grima talking about the weakness at the base of a wall, and you see like sort of like the opening of like a sewer sort of thing.
Yeah, and I love that Saruman is just like making bombs. That's something about that is just so awesome to me. This wizard just
It's
brewing
industry,
up.
dude.
Yeah, it's just really cool.
No industry like the war industry. I also love that Grima's like, you need like a huge army, man.
It's always been a little silly to me. How did you not notice that there's like
And Saruman just walks out. And well, my idea is that they've been mustered, and like
Yeah, but
not like mayonnaise and mustard, but like they muster, right?
I mean
And
maybe
like
it's
they
like
arrive
they,
after he like has been there.
yeah, you would just I guess like Isengard Tower is just like super soundproof because like how do you not notice like 10,000 people pulling up
Well, I
outside?
think like at a certain level of like noise, you're like, I have no idea how many people that is, you know?
Sure.
But yeah, no, it is funny.
It
Like
still
it
works,
feels it's like the timing is like a joke. Like it
Yeah.
is like comedic where it's like you need a huge army. Cut to us nonsensically, which happens in the movie all the time, continuing our conversation that we had, even though we probably walked like a huge like a pretty big distance, right?
Yeah. And this I've always loved that Wormtongue sheds a tear here. And it's almost like it's just so beautiful that he's assembled so much darkness, but there's this other side to it. It's like, is there any part of him that's like, what have I done? Like, what am I
Yeah.
unleashing on the land? And I'm not sure which it is. Based on everything else we see from his character, it's probably more the former of just like, hell yeah, we're about to fuck up the world. It's gonna be sick.
The line too, there will be no dawn for men.
Yeah. And the orcs march, and I love what they do the rest of the movie before the battle of just like constantly flashing back to them getting closer and closer. The montage of all this chaos, like it's a really good like the storm is coming vibe for the rest of the movie that I really like.
Yeah, for sure. Back to Treebeard with Pippin and Merry.
They see the army again.
Yeah, they see the smoke to the south, and a Treebeard saying that there's always smoke coming from there, right? Pointing to the like constant work there.
Yeah.
And the line Saruman used to walk in his woods, but now he has a mind of metal and wheels. He no longer cares for growing things.
Yeah, it's a good line.
And then we do have them like see the army, like the huge
And it
army.
looks great. Yeah.
Looks wild. It looks scary.
It looks very scary. Yeah, and then we get Aragorn floating down the river.
Just taking a quick little, just
Yeah, it looks nice.
having a nice little float.
Yeah, nice float. The crazy thing is he survives this, gets out of the water, rides all the way to Helm's Deep nonstop, and then fights a battle. Like he doesn't get any downtime.
No, he got a little float in.
He got to
dude.
float. He got to
He
float.
gotta float in.
Yeah. And so okay, this is another thing that they cut out of the non-extended that really takes away from this scene. But this horse Brago that finds him here. In the extended, there's a scene where it's one of the horses because they also show like the end of they show them finding the prince in the battlefield, and this is one of the horses they brought back, and it's a scene with Aragorn and Eowyn down at the stables, and Aragorn basically like horse whispers this horse and is like, let this horse go. It's seen too many battles, so they let the horse go, and then it finds him.
That's awesome. I love that.
But instead, it's just like, here's a random horse that finds him.
Yeah, this is the horse he bought. He bought this horse from the owners.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you mean Viggo Mortensen? Yeah.
No. I mean Aragorn.
um.
He's in the remake of Psycho.
Oh.
He fucking yeah. I just always remember that the remake where Vince Vaughn plays Norman Bates.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get a scene of Elrond going to Arwen. He wants her to leave. She's saying there's still hope. Again, yeah, the theme of hope and faith. And which is what Aragorn tells her, tells Elrond, like she's staying behind because she still has hope, and he's like, no, she's staying behind because of you. And I think it's both.
I do like the way that like she's like reaching for like the empty pillow next to her too. Like
yeah. And yeah, Elrond's like, Aragorn will die, like whether it's by battle or just like time passing.
yeah.
And a really powerful scene, I think, of like a vision of the future with the tomb, and like you
Yeah.
mentioned in the last episode, like he's still wearing
The Van braces, yeah.
Boromir's braces.
The line to taste the bitterness of mortality. And I love how he's I love how he says there's nothing here for you, only death, but the implication is like it's not your death.
Yeah,
Like cuz that's what you would usually think. What he's saying is like all there is left for you is to experience loss.
yeah. He says you will linger in darkness and doubt. And I always thought this was kind of a manipulative line from him, but it's also a very like realistic father line where he's like, "Do I not also have your love?"
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it makes me feel uncomfy. I'm
Yeah,
like,
me too. I'm like,
bro, like
come
what?
on now.
Like I
you
mean,
know it's different.
yeah,
You're
she's
thousands of years
she's
old.
not
Come
gonna
on.
kiss on you and like fucking do sexy stuff, you know?
Um,
That would not be okay.
and then Arwen leaves, and I don't think we see her again until Return of the King.
Yeah. We get Galadriel once more.
Yes, I had forgotten this moment.
I love her being like, bro, we can't just like we have to participate.
I
Like,
love this part. Yeah, just yeah.
well,
her-
it's like the sense of obligation, like the loyalty to the land. It is, I think, again, sort of like touching into the theme of like love for like our fellow man. And it's really cool that it's her who's like, bro, like we gotta go. We gotta like help.
Yeah, but just like also the darkness, it's and the fact that like it seems like they're just speaking to each other telepathically is super cool. But yeah, you see like Saruman, the armies marching, the Eye. You see Osgiliath ruins, and like she's saying that like Frodo's beginning to realize the quest will claim his life. Like it's so much good tension building.
And I
Um,
think in this we see because like it like the sort of like her talking turns into like narrating for over the scenes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we
yeah.
see Faramir has Frodo captive, and she says the thing about men are so
Yeah.
easily tempted by the ring.
Yeah, he says the ring works to find its way into the hands of men, and like the way she emphasizes it's so close now.
Yeah.
It's so very close. Like once it finds its hands and or finds its way into the hands of men, like it's all over. And yeah, like you were saying, she's like the time of elves is over. Do we let them stand alone? Do we let
Yeah.
Middle Earth stand alone?
Yeah, do we leave Middle Earth to its fate? And the shot of Elrond staring at the painting from like the
Yeah.
battle with Isildur,
Good,
you know.
really good stuff. Really good moment.
Just a lot of like just not like saying things plainly, but also leaving so many things unsaid, you know.
Totally. And then we cut to Faramir
Yeah.
looking over a map of Middle Earth, and I always laugh my ass off during this scene because there's this amazing sketch where someone dubbed over Faramir and his captain talking here, and it's just Faramir super confused on where all the locations are because they keep pointing on the map at this scene, and they just like edit it up so it's all over the place. So it's like, so this is Isengard? No, sir, that is Rohan. Oh, so where's Mordor? Mordor's here. It just like goes back and forth for minutes. It's really funny. Check it out.
He
But-
gets the whole lowdown on what's going on. Rohan's being attacked by Saruman. And I love the thing of like, well, you know, we can't really help, bro. We got to take care of ourselves right now.
Yeah, I think part of why this scene always makes me think of that sketch is it is a little silly for them to be like, so Mordor's here, and then Isengard's over here. Like, it's telling it to the audience. They should both be very familiar with this and not need to point it out on the map, you know?
Faramir is also being set up, I think, as I do see you say they do him dirty, but you see that he is like a thoughtful sort of like leader, like weighing everything because he's like talking logistically about like, well, if this happens, then this happens, or like, you know, and,
Yeah.
and
Well-
you see that he's a capable captain.
And like to the credit of the movies, it does give him a really nice arc, right? Which is that he has to go further than he did than his brother, even though he has the same temptations. And in the books, it's more like he doesn't have those temptations. So the temptations does give his character an interesting spin, but he does leave a bad taste in your mouth in this movie. The way he like, you know,
Yeah, he's not as creepy as Boromir
Yeah.
or as like scary, and the way that like he sort of like severs it and like decides to let them go feels very like he feels very like in control, like he's almost making a logical choice, like let's use the weapon, not like ooh I wants it,
Yeah.
which of course is like it's always like I wants it. I have to shout out, this is probably the moment that most takes me out of the movie. Because when they take off the blindfolds, it's a cool shot.
Yeah,
and
they
they
stood
pull
out to
out.
me too. Yeah, it
They
looks-
like are. It looks like they're standing in front of a green
It
screen.
does, yeah. No, that I was thinking the same. It definitely stands out more than all the other kind of forced perspective stuff.
The great line too here, where you know they're asking them their names and stuff, and he asks if Sam is his bodyguard, and he
Yeah.
goes his gardener.
Yeah, so angrily.
The first time I think we really get that like in the movies, you know, like
Yeah,
that the relationship clearly laid out.
yeah. Yeah, and basically Frodo reveals that what their fellowship was, and that they were with Boromir. Faramir reveals that Boromir is dead, and that it was his brother.
He also asks about Smeagol, but like they
Yeah.
lie and they say it was just the two of them.
Yeah, and then it just cuts to Faramir kind of chilling out, thinking about things.
He's pondering life.
Yeah, and then he gets word that they found the third.
Yes.
And Golem shows up at the Forbidden Pool, and he takes the hobbits out to see him. I love.
He just takes Frodo out.
Oh yeah. I love Golem's little fish song here
Yeah.
as he's killing the fish. It's very cute.
It's also like just crazy. It's like the full moon and the waterfall is
It looks
just like
beautiful.
really beautiful.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of lore around the Forbidden Pool, but I don't remember what it is. Sorry, folks.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I mean, to enter the Forbidden Pool it bears the penalty of death.
yeah, I mean this is serious business.
It's serious business.
Yeah, heartbreaking scene because like
Most of the business in this movie pretty serious.
serious business. Yeah, except Gimli. Frodo tricking Golem, man. This hurts because this is the turning point. This is
Yeah.
like Smeagol might have been saved if it wasn't for this moment right here, right? Like he might have actually turned a new leaf. He kind of did already, but then the betrayal of Frodo leading him into this trap, like he never forgives him for
Yeah, it's good shit. It's good shit.
that. And
There's also like I think that it's also coupled with like Frodo kind of calling to him like a dog, like
Yeah.
come here, and
and he's
I
like,
feel
it's
like-
okay, it's
yeah,
okay, buddy.
I feel like it works well, like
Yeah.
in that context, because it's like disgusting to see him treating like another person like a dog,
yeah.
and then it is like, oh, kind of like, oh, you've like betrayed this like trust that y'all had.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like promising your dog treats, but instead you put him in the kennel and take him to the vet, you know? Feels bad. And Golem being interrogated. Again, just like a really, like seeing the crap eaten out of him and him sobbing in the corner and like the way Golem returns here, like versus Smeagol. Just like trying to console him. And it's really tragic because this is how he's made it this long, right? Like another personality being there to pretend someone's consoling him because he's so alone.
Yeah, and this is how he essentially learns that they have the ring.
My precious. Yeah, I love his scream there at the end.
Sam wants Frodo to use the ring to disappear, to get out, you know, and but Frodo says he can't.
Yeah, I like it's a nice kind of going back to that argument they had earlier.
Yeah, the admission that like, no, Sam, you're right. I'm sorry. The ring, it's taking me. If I put it on, he'll find me.
Yeah. Yeah, and the implication just that putting the ring on just it's like it's like another dose of heroin or whatever. It's like it's bringing you that much closer into the darkness that much faster kind of thing.
I like Faramir's line where he says, "This is the answer to all the riddles," you know?
Yeah, the ring of power within my grasp. A chance for Faramir, Captain of Gondor, to show his quality.
Yeah, good line. Again, like I've said, all of these temptation moments very like very key to like showing the weight of the ring as well.
Yeah. And then he gets word that Osgiliath is under attack, which is a nice pressure for him to come to the
Yeah.
conclusion, like, okay, I can't let you go. When push comes to shove, I'm not going to let you go. Let's go.
Yeah. I also love Sam saying like, "Please help us," you know? And Faramir's like, "The ring will go to Gondor."
Yep.
Aragorn's not looking so hot, man.
Not looking so hot.
Not looking so hot. But he sees the huge orc army marching. So if he wasn't looking so hot, he's probably not feeling so hot right now.
No. I love this tension building. He rides the Helm's Deep. Epic shots.
Yeah, him pulling up is dope. Also, again, I kind of love these things in like movies where we're not ruminating on his death for like, you know, an entire half of a movie. Like
Yeah.
I like that. Just like the thing with Theoden and the way that they like cast him out like so quickly. I love that he's like, fucking that it like pretty like quickly
It wraps up
yeah.
itself very quick,
Yeah.
but it also kind of adds to the, like, especially knowing it's not on the book, makes it feel even more forced in, where it's just immediately resolved.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the crew's reunited. He gets the necklace returned. Eowyn watching from the sidelines. Epic door open. This has become like a big meme too, of Aragorn opening the doors into the throne room or whatever. And I'm pretty sure like all the From Software games just like took the door animation straight from this scene, because it's always that big push open of the double doors. Aragorn tells Theoden, "Yo, 10,000 orcs coming. They'll be here at nightfall." And I love that.
Yeah.
We love timers, as we've talked about many times. And just like, yeah, the storm is here. We're like in the eye of the storm, basically. It's gonna be here any minute now. Like, we got to put everything we have on the line.
Yeah. They're getting every man and lad ready for battle.
And I love Theoden just being like, "Let them come."
Yeah.
Good stuff. Preparing the defenses.
Well, he's like, no army has ever gotten through.
Yeah, we will outlast them. And I love, he gets challenged by Gimli, and then he gets challenged by Aragorn, and I love
Yeah.
Theoden here just being like, "Hey man, look at my troops right now. Their courage hangs by a thread. And like he's just doing the best he can, and
Yeah.
I love that from Theoden. He's a great character.
Yeah, and Bernard Hill, great fucking
Yeah.
performance.
Second time we've had him on Titanic. Great actor. Rest in peace. Passed away a couple years ago. Yeah, and Aragorn's saying like, let's send for aid, and he's like, what, elves, dwarves? Like the old alliances are dead.
Yeah, he tells him to call for allies, right?
Yeah.
And also he's like, what about Gondor? And Theoden's basically like, fuck Gondor, dude.
Well, yeah, and another just like randomly super quoted line: "Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell?"
Yeah.
And I love that he kind of loses his temper here, but then like, I'm in front of my men, I got to keep it all together, and he's like, no, like we're in this alone.
Yeah.
And I love just like seeing him like perform that moment.
Also, the whole thing that there's like not enough time to get everything ready, but it doesn't matter because like we have to act, feels like such a great way to like encapsulate the whole story. Again, like what like Gandalf said, like walk this earth for like so many years and like now I have no time. And it is this thing of like I have no time, there is no hope. We don't have the resources, but what are we going to do? Give up? No, dude, like cuz what defines us as people is how we meet those moments.
Totally. And I forgot about this moment too. You can see Saruman's spies, the Crebain, I think they call them, like the crows, like are like flying in a big thing around Helm's Deep, which is a nice thing that they
Yeah.
don't need to tell you because it's already been set up.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
first
for
one,
sure.
you know?
Back to Merry, Pippin, and Treebird. Treebird.
Treebird. I like that name.
Dude, play Treebird.
Yeah, we got the Entmoot.
Yes.
And yeah, it's very fun to see them all walking up.
Yes,
Very cool
yes.
design and all these guys. It is funny how much more like humanoid Treebeard looks compared to the rest of them. Like he kind of just looks like
We don't get as many close-ups of the other ones
Yeah.
as well. But yeah,
they're a lot more like deformed looking though. Like their faces are all over the place and super weird and bizarre. And
I
Treebeard kind
think-
of has like a human face made of tree.
I think they're super handsome to all of our
Okay.
ants listening out there.
Yeah.
I also like him saying they haven't troubled about the wars of men and wizards for a very long time. Love that he says men and wizards because it points to his like sort of like how like kind of their place like in the whole hierarchy that
Yeah.
he's even just like where men or hobbits would be like, oh, the like dealings of wizards, but he's like, whatever, I'm gonna
Yeah.
like put that in with the men.
Wizards are the new thing on the scene. I don't like. They just like showed up last week or something as far as Treebeard's concerned.
So they're gonna see if they're gonna go to war. That's the point of the end mood.
Yeah. And then we go to Helm's Deep again. The people going into the caves. The look of the caves is amazing. I'm pretty sure this
Yeah.
is a practical set too, and holy crap, it looks cool.
It's so heartbreaking. The like
Yes.
juxtaposition of the men saying goodbye to their families and then the like boys being ripped from the arms of their mothers.
Yeah, really effective.
Yeah.
Like one of the most like emotionally powerful stuff in this movie, I think.
Yeah, and this is where we get the line, Aragorn is shaking his head, these are not soldiers. Most have seen too many winters or too few. And he's saying that he can see that they're all frightened. And Legolas is like, I think they're gonna die, dude. And Aragorn is like, well, I'm gonna die with them.
Yeah, this has always been funny to me because he says they're frightened, and then everyone just like the room goes fully quiet, and they're like, "How dare you?" Basically, call us frightened, and then he starts talking in Elvish to kind
Yeah.
of make it private.
Yeah.
And then Aragorn just like calling him out, but it also fits narratively where he's like, "Yo, I'm not gonna hide this conversation from them. I will die as one of them." He says in the common tongue,
Yeah.
But also, if you're one of those people in the room, you just like don't know what they're saying at all, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
but we're all going to die, and you're like, wait, we are.
I like the use of bilingualism
Yeah.
is cool. And actually you pointing it out, like me, I engage in that so much, like I almost didn't even notice it. Like, cause
yeah.
like, my with my family, whenever we're like in public, like a lot of things we're saying that we don't want people to understand, we say in like Spanish, but also it's become a meme of my mother's where she goes, Spanish is not a secret language.
That's cute. Yeah, and then we get this scene too. I mean, there's just like so many good scenes here where we got Gamlin, I think his name is
Yes.
bringing the armor to Theoden, and the lighting coming in through the door, it's like casting this like halo almost around Theoden, and he's just like totally broken, it seems, despondent, just like questioning everything he's done
He
as
literally
a king.
says, who am I?
Yeah.
And I love the way the guy's like, the king, we will follow you to whatever end. So sick, dude.
Yeah, and he repeats that to whatever end. And then yeah, just the foreshadowing of where is the horn that was blowing, and you see like a
Yeah.
great montage of seeing the children being armed and
Yes,
the
yeah.
orcs marching. How did it come to this?
Super poetic too.
Yeah, I
Like
love
just
it.
very very beautiful, like very beautifully done. Like this such beautiful language and this sort of like the horrific implications of like the mounting like
Yeah,
battle.
and the music tying it all
impending
together.
battle.
Yeah, perfectly done. Nighttime defenses being manned. I love this moment of Aragorn kind of like, sitting, kind of like dwelling on his argument with Legolas, and he sees this boy here
Haleth.
who is the son of Hama, who is the guy who got wrecked by the wargs. That's
Yeah.
something I didn't realize for a long time.
It's Hammer time.
It's Hama time. But so it adds even more weight to this, where like his father was just murdered, and like now Aragorn's giving him this pep talk, and he says they say it's hopeless.
Yeah.
And I love Aragorn kind of flexing here, showing off how badass he is with his like crappy sword he has, and he's like, "This is a good sword," and then like there is always hope, he tells him.
Good shit.
And Aragorn, and then we get like triumphant music coming in as Aragorn is armoring up. And then I love that like he's looking for his sword, and Legolas hands it to him and apologizes. Nice moment.
Yeah, we got the chainmail tied across the chest, but too long. I love Legolas is like, I got your back, bro. Like, I always had your back. And then that line, that is no orc horn.
Yeah.
And the fucking elven archers arriving.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
God,
cool. So
dude.
this is not in the book either. They do have some like Ent type things. I forget what they're called, like Hurons or something, but they're like smaller Ents that kind of show up at one point.
Yeah, I think the thing with the books is, again, scale wise, like there's just, he is able to bring all of these things in and complicate them so much more because of the like media.
Yeah.
But I think, again, maybe just more efficient choices. Like in a movie, a lot of times, like you do want to see things like come back.
Yeah.
And and in the books, there's more time for those things to come back. But like, I guess you got to pick your spots.
Yeah, I do love the elves showing up, and I think it is a really good beat to hit. But I also like thematically in the books, it's supposed to be more like, no, this is the war for men. Like the elves are not going to help us in this. Like this is, and it also kind of fits with the whole Iluvatar's destiny for men, and like they have to overcome this shadow alone and all that.
But the elves, do they help in the final battle?
I don't think so. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
I kind of loved that.
Yeah.
I loved it in the movies. It feels very like, if especially with like thinking about like the difference between the races as a like race thing, right?
Yeah.
Like as like analogy for that. It feels really nice, like to have the people standing together, like to face it. But hey, like you said, I think the point you make is a good point as well. I also love that Haldir is back.
Yeah. Cool to see him. The music. So this is something I noticed just this time, and it's the elf theme. Like it's what we heard in Lothlorien, but it's like turned into like a military march version of the elf theme, and it's just awesome. It's so good. I love the way the elves all move in like perfect uniform and everything. The way they all spin and turn at the same time. You can see their thousands of years of life have led them into this kind of
They're
perfect.
like a synchronized swimming team.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
We're like setting up the two sides. Everyone's sort of watching, seeing like the Uruk-hai marching in the distance, and like the torches that are sort of marking their approach.
Yeah, and the storm is here now, and it's like literally here.
Yeah,
because we have thunder followed quickly
and it
by
starts
rain.
raining. Yeah, and Gimli can't see.
Yeah, very funny little bit. Yeah, and I like the line of like, "Let's hope your luck lasts the night," and like Legolas, like, "You have your friends by your side," and Gimli's like, "Let's hope they last the night." Good stuff. And I love when the rain falls, it first lands on Theoden. Like, again, if this is the battle for Rohan, this is the battle for the kingdoms of men. Just like the rain clattering on his armor is just like very poetic to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get a lot of like quick shots. We see like the army marching, the women and the children in the caves, Aragorn ordering the elves in Elvish, the Uruk-hai commander screaming, the women and the children in the caves again.
I like Legolas offering Gimli a box.
Yeah.
And that Gimli likes that. Like, I feel like in the first movie, this would have pissed him off, but here he just kind of like laughs it off.
That's a very common thing too, like on film sets. Like you have these things called apple boxes everywhere of all like different sizes, and very commonly like they'll be set up for like shooting certain like scenes of like people of like different heights or just anything really. But
Right.
so little insider movie
Baseball.
situation.
Oh yeah.
Insider movie baseball situation.
That's what they say.
That's what we say.
I like, the orcs chanting, the men aiming their bows. Not to nitpick military tactics too much, but they do this so often in movies, and it annoys me. As like a big fan of history, where like the whole volley thing, like hold your fire until we all give command, like you don't do it this way. Like you don't just let them march up on your castle. Shoot them, shoot them as soon as you can. Kill as many as you can while you can.
It looks sick as fuck.
It
though.
does, and that's the thing. It's like cinematically, I get why they're doing it this way, but it always felt a little silly here, especially with the old man. Like what starts the battle is like some dude lets an arrow slip, and I love that he aces it too, like right in the neck. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is very funny. It is also silly that that's how it sort of starts. Also the like wailing of like the Uruk-hai is fucking like terrifying.
Yeah, and it just when the battle gets going, the arrow volleys look sick. I mean, it's just such like one of the best cinematic battles of all time. Like it's so cool. And the ladders coming up with the orc theme, just getting straight into the battle. I love Gimli sliding under the orc's legs with the axe and just getting him in the stomach. But I always thought that was super funny. And then the friendly competition between Legolas and Gimli starts here, where they're counting how many they're killing. And I love Gimli just throughout the battle. You can hear him shouting his numbers out over across, because that would be super intimidating if you just hear someone counting how many of you they've killed.
He says the thing to like no pointy ear is gonna outscore me.
Yeah.
I also just want to shout out, really, we're talking about arrow volleys. This is like such like a tangent, but very quickly I want to say, when I think of arrow volleys, I think of Hero, the movie with Jet Li.
Oh yeah.
And I want to shout out this really good video I saw recently on YouTube. The channel is Schnee, Schnee, and it's talking about how Hero is a really great example of how to write fascist propaganda.
I saw this actually.
And a movie that I love so much. And I was like, what the hell? And then I watched the video and I was like, no, he's absolutely right. Also, if you haven't seen Hero, you should watch that fucking
Amazing movie. Yeah. Fascist,
really good movie.
Fascist themes or not, I love that movie.
No, I mean, I think taking that into account just like steps it up as well. And like, watch the movie, draw your own conclusions. Hopefully it's not a fascist ideology that you draw from it. I didn't do that, but definitely like very sick video.
Yeah, one of my favorite just like kung fu movies. Just the way it's like, just beautifully shot.
It's one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen, and the color themes and the way that color is utilized throughout the film is really, really well done. I mean, and it's like the time of like Crouching Tiger, sort of Hidden Dragon. Well, after Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and that movie, of course, also very beautiful. Yeah, it's the time of like House of Flying Daggers, Fearless. It was this sort of like fucking Hollywood sort of renaissance of kung fu films.
Yeah, I kind of miss those. I could use one or two of those.
Yeah, I mean, I think like really like just stepping out of the comfort zone and like going and like just checking out Hong Kong cinema, because that's like an integral part of like what
maybe we can
do
a Hong Kong month.
I studied Shaolin Kung Fu for 4 years, and I love like part of like being a teenager and like kind of like growing up was watching Bruce Lee and Jet Li, Jackie Chan. So that's like a big love of mine. Like I love those kinds of movies so much. I love like Wong Fei Hung, who is this real figure who actually his like lineage of teaching reached me. Like he is also like a folk hero. Like and also one of the things we're getting off topic, but I just want to talk about it because we're already talking about it. Like they outlawed the practicing of martial arts in like China, and there was like this Boxer Rebellion. And like it was like secret practice, and they would like show like secret hand signs to each other to show that they were like people who practiced martial arts. Very cool. It was all during like the modernization of China, and they felt like martial arts was like this tradition that was like holding them back, and it was because there were all these colonial powers trying to like fucking exploit the resources.
Yeah, I saw a movie very focused on that. It's a really famous one. I can't remember.
Fearless.
Is it Fearless? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Then we get Fangorn Forest again. So, okay, one of my nitpicks of this movie, like, I don't know
Not enough kung fu
with the Ents especially, but no, just the pacing here is
May I make a quick admission?
Yes.
This is where I took my intermission. All the like we see all the ladders like coming up, right, and everything. and I was like, I can't watch this all tonight.
So you watched it this morning?
No, no, no. Well, I was like, dude, I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna time things well. I started watching it. We're recording on a Sunday. I work Friday through Monday. I started watching it Friday night,
Gotcha.
and then I finished this last like 43 minutes last night.
Gotcha. Yeah, anyway, a nitpick I have with the movie, and like I said, I don't know how you do this because I think all of the setup with the ends is important and stuff, but it really, and I think we've talked about this before, and you were saying like you think this is kind of intentional the way it kind of drags around the ends because it's just like, we have decided you are not orcs, and there's even more of this in the extended where they're like, we just said good morning to each other, and it's like nighttime and stuff, and it's like, come on, let's move it along here, and like I really want to get back to this battle, like I really just want the because there's so much good tension built up at the battle, and I just kind of want to see that played out, but instead it keeps kind of slowing itself down with these scenes, and that's always kind of dragged it down a little for me, but it's still like amazing.
I think how it conforms to like what it says about Ents, like impacts me so much more than like the like pacing of it.
Sure. And it is good because it's Mary being like, our friends are out there dying, and we're cutting back to them dying.
It's a little bit of pickled ginger, but like with like the like still like the lingering of like the like yellowfin tuna like on the back of the palate, you know, because you are like having this moment of like levity, but also like Mary being that constant reminder.
Right. And I think it slows it down, but in service of how well it all ties up at the end.
Yeah.
Right. So it's setting things up because by the end, where you have all three kind of climaxes happening at the same time between Aragorn or Frodo in the ring and the battle at Helm's Deep, and then the ends coming to Isengard, like it all comes into this really amazing climax together, and you kind of need to set this up here for that all to work. But I do feel it. You know? Yeah, and we're back to battling. We got Gimli calling out numbers. There's a ram on the bridge. I love the like turtle formation of the.
There's a phalanx of orcs.
Yeah, the orcs with their shields blocking it. It's very cool. Looks great.
There's also this moment where Theoden is feeling cocky. He's like, "Is this it? Is this all you can conjure, Saruman?"
Everyone who's ever seen a movie is like, "Oh, you can't say that. You can't say is that all you got?" Because immediately, of course, the next scene is no, that's not all he's got. You got the like Olympic orc runner coming in with his torch, and Legolas trying to shoot him down. He gets 2 arrows in him, but it's not enough. And he makes that leap.
Yeah, I was like, I love it because you hear him scream, "Kill him!" And I was like, wow, for once, Legolas does not.
Yeah, well, and I kind of like the heroic moment for the orc here because we don't really see them being heroic, but like it's kind of a Boromir moment for him, right? Where he's taking arrows, he's making it through. He knows he's gonna die. This is a suicide mission, and just like that leap into the bomb, like pretty cool. And yeah, I love the way the explosion, first of all, looks crazy. The way the bodies are flying through the air and stuff, like, looks insane and devastating. I love it. And the water flooding out is great as the orcs charge in. We got them bracing the gate as they're trying to bust through the main gate.
Also, Aragorn goes down with the explosion of the wall.
Yeah. And we get while they're bracing the gate, we get our Peter Jackson cameo with him throwing a stone over the wall here onto the orcs. We got Gimli leaping heroically down.
Well, first Aragorn does awake as the like orcs start to rush it through. But yeah, that scene with that part with Gimli, that shot, I think that's
so
like
awesome.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, why don't we get more of this from him? But like the way that he just like he's like, fuck it, dude. Like he is like such like a blunt like object, right? Like he's such like a hammer, every problem is a nail.
Yeah.
And just the way he's like, fuck it, and just like leaps onto them like and starts it looks so dope.
Yeah, it looks great because he's kind of holding off the whole army right here. And then the arrow volley again looks great, and then this charge they get like super cinematic, amazing, with Aragorn kind of leading the charge and his sword pointed forward. Like it just looks great and it's super fun. And
another great choreography moment with Legolas riding the shield down the stairs and shooting just so many fucking orcs.
Yeah, and you get the main theme coming in there for a second as he goes down the stairs. So good. And then we're back to the Ents.
I do want to say we do get like a really awesome like wide of like the two armies clashing.
Yeah, it's great.
Again, like setting up that scale of like we have like the very like close like hand to hand and then like the big shots.
And again, like I know I'm broken record here, but for 2002, like this looks so realistic. Like it doesn't look like a CGI army. Like it looks like a full scale battle here.
Yeah, apparently this whole sequence took 20 hours to film. Like
20 hours?
yeah, there was 20 hours of
Footage.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. That's a lot of editing.
Yeah,
Shout
no,
out to those editors.
yeah, no, it was apparently like also just like so fucking grueling, and they I guess the sequences, like the filming, it took several months.
Yeah.
He gave all the extras. Peter Jackson gave all the extras a free T-shirt to commemorate the experience, and it said, "I survived Helm's Deep."
That's amazing. Love it. Yeah, and then so the ends won't fight. I love like this, big character moment for Mary. Like, you're part of this world, you must help. And I love that the ends kind of like internalize that. They're like, sorry, this ain't for us. Like, go back to your home. And just a really powerful moment of like a lot of the themes coming to a head here of Pippin being like, it is too big for us, right? Like one of your themes of like this, like a small person can do great deeds. And it's like, it's too big for us. And you get the Shire theme coming, and he's like, let's just go home, back to the Shire. And Mary's response is great. He's just like, everything's gonna be destroyed. There won't be a Shire, Pip.
Yeah, it's a great moment for my boys.
And yeah, we go back to the battle.
War rages.
It's not looking good.
Not looking great. We even have this great like sort of hero moment for Haldir, but then he like dies. His death scene, I feel like it gets like this nice weight to it, but he isn't a person. Like in this movie, it wasn't a person in the last movie. He's not a person in this movie. I said it was cool to see him again because it is, but like it is like you want like a little bit more weight to it.
Yeah, I think where the weight comes in, I agree with you. It feels like they brought him in just to give him this dramatic death because no other main characters die. But to me, the weight is around, this is a ancient elf who could have just gone to the Undying Lands and lived like eternity in peace, but he chose to be here. He chose to fight, and now he's dying.
I think that I still feel like that could have been like maybe a little bit more weight given to that. Maybe show like I don't know. Like you don't want to show too much, but it is like also
maybe there's a conversation between him and Elrond or something. Yeah, of like him hesitating to go, but being like, I have to do this.
Well, I think it would have been from Galadriel, right? Because I think he's like,
you're right.
But I do love Aragorn's holding him and then springs into action and like rides the fucking ladder down.
I wrote here, Aragorn goes berserk. And also just like a nice moment of his death. I think another thing that worked for me is that it's kind of a nice, just like death in battle is not glorious. Like when he's dying, he's just looking at all the dead bodies, and there's this kind of feeling of like, what was it all for? And by the time Aragorn gets to him, he's already dead. So it's like his final moments is just dread.
Yeah.
And I think that's powerful in its own way.
Yeah, for sure. I still, I'm watching and I'm like, this is not a real dude. You know, like
yeah.
They break down the gate with the ram.
Yeah.
You see Theoden on the front line, and
he's like, let's join.
Yeah.
I wanted to call this out. I do really like this because this is kind of something we don't get a lot in movies, which is the commander like watching from above and like making the commands. I like seeing that like tactical perspective of it, where he's kind of got a full layout of the battlefield, but then it even adds more weight to it, where he's like, all right, pulls his sword out, like, let's get to the gate. Good stuff. Yeah, and he pretty much gets like immediately stabbed by like a spear.
By a spear. He does also like immediately kill an orc right after that.
Yeah, the one who got him. And then we got Aragorn and Gimli going on like their epic mission to leap onto the bridge. I love the whole like you'll have to toss me.
Yeah, don't tell the elf.
Don't tell the elf. Very funny. Damn, Aragorn's strong, because that is like a 20-foot throw for this dwarf.
He's so strong. Also, like dwarves like weigh more than like men. Like
he's tossing someone real heavy.
I also like one of the things I noticed, kind of feeding into your whole evil destroying itself thing. Our evil destroying itself thing is like, they're like, the orcs are pushing so aggressively that even before they start attacking, you see people, and it's probably also from like arrows, but just at the edge.
Oh, just getting pushed off.
Just like being pushed off.
Yeah, for sure. And I forgot how cool this fight is. If you actually watch the choreography, because it's, we talked about last time how Tolkien writes the action in a much more grounded way that feels more realistic. Like they're not these mythological heroes. They're just like people in a battle fighting. And I thought the choreography here was really good, because if you actually watch, like, how are these two guys about to take on this entire horde? Like, it looks right. Like, it looks like they actually are taking them off. Like, because a lot of times you'll see like the orcs kind of like or in action movies, you'll see all the enemies standing back until it's their time to come into the fight so that the choreography works without them being overwhelmed. But here it looks like they're all charging them and they're just
Yeah.
like fighting them all off really well, which is cool.
Very cool stuff.
And there's an awesome shot of them fighting back to back where they're kind of just like turning in a circle with each other as they're fending everything off. That's super cool to see.
Very, very cool. We got the huge ballista with the grappling hook.
Yes, I love this. The big ladders, and I think we even get like a lower version of the orc theme coming in here, like a more like ominous, darker, heavier version of it, which is great. I love Legolas shooting one of the ladders down. He gets the rope with his ace shot, like even with all that effort, we just had the gate breaks and they fall back to the keep.
Yeah, I feel like this movie, these stories are really good at the whole struggle and making it seem like a real struggle for the most part.
Yeah.
And then also sort of like glory in failure almost sometimes.
Like, it was still worth the effort, even if it just bought them like another 30 seconds or whatever, all that stuff on the bridge. It's great. I also love Legolas throwing down the rope for them to climb up. That's pretty epic. And and then we come back to Treebeard.
Also, I just want to point out, Legolas pulls them up.
Yeah, super strong himself. Yeah.
Yeah, insane. Dude.
Yeah. Then back to Treebeard carrying the hobbits.
I do just want to say Theoden says they have broken through.
Yeah.
The castle is breached.
Yeah.
It
feels like an all hope is lost kind of moment. And it keeps going into that.
Yeah.
Treebeard carrying the hobbits.
Turn around, take us south.
Yes, love Pippin is the one who comes up with this plan. Like you can tell Merry's words really like affected him, and he's right. Like we can't just abandon this. Like the Shire will be destroyed. Let's go south. Yeah, I love that. And it's, even though his like reasoning behind it is super silly. So in the
closer to danger, the safer we are.
Yeah, in the books, I believe the Ents do just decide to go, so it's not like something they're tricked into. But like, I like it. It works both ways.
Yeah. Silly choice, but whatever. I mean, it
gives like Pippin a moment to shine.
Yeah,
here,
no, I do like that. Because he does say Treebeard's like that'll lead us past Isengard if we go south, and that's where he says the closer to danger, the safer we are.
Right. And then we cut to Osgiliath.
Also, just thinking about the fact, we've seen that Saruman basically, sent his entire
all
horde,
his forces, we get to see Osgiliath burning.
There's a part when they're in Osgiliath where Sam says by rights we shouldn't even be here, which is intentional. Because, like you said, they don't go there in the book.
Oh, that's funny. Right. And I love, Frodo saying, like, the ring will not save Gondor. Like, all it will do is destroy.
Only has power to destroy.
Yeah, nice little pleading moment. Like, you must let me go. But Faramir's too far gone. And we come back to Treebeard again.
I felt less like he's too far gone and more like he's very conflicted. Like, he is, trying to really think about what is best for his people.
Totally, yeah. But like by too far gone, I just mean like he's already gone down this path, like he sees the destruction of Gondor in front of him. Like he's like, I think we need this.
For sure. Far Gone, I feel like, especially with the context of the ring, just, feels a little bit like... Because he never feels like he's truly, like...
Yeah. He never fully gives in,
No, he never really, his will is insane. Because he, has that one moment where he's, sort of, musing to himself. But, I mean, maybe it's also just, the way that this is just, shoehorned in here. But he really just seems like he is, such a stand-up guy for them. I mean, despite you saying they do him dirty, I do feel like I watch him, I'm like, damn, dude, why couldn't Boromir have a little bit more fucking of your fucking sense of self and whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Then we get a Treebeard. This scene just so good. Treebeard sees Saruman's destruction.
Friends he had known from Nut and Acorn.
Yeah, many of these trees were my friends. It's so sad. So sweet. His shout and the way I think this track is called the March of the Ents, the last March of the Ents, and that's what he says. The Ents are going to war, and it just on the themes of industry and destruction and kind of a lesson to mankind. Him saying a wizard should know better. I feel like he's saying mankind should know better, like the wise among us should know better.
Also, I love the line, no curse in any tongue for this treachery.
Yeah.
And again, we've touched on this as a sort of theme. Likely we go to doom, and it's fighting to death for what you believe in, even if you're wiped out.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to, I think that's a side of love, really, because I think like when you truly love someone unconditionally, like you will take them even with their flaws, right?
Yeah.
And like how you feel about like a family member maybe, or like a good friend of yours, like even in those moments where like you feel like you're like, I don't know if like I can keep like if I can keep loving you, but like of course I will, like like
Totally, totally. Yeah, this moment of them just marching towards Isengard with the dialogue, yeah, marching to their doom with the music, just like one of my favorite moments in the whole trilogy. I just think it's so powerful and the music's so good. And then yeah, like the rest of the movie, just like the way it just keeps cutting back and forth between all of these really climactic moments is just awesome. We get the kind of destruction happening at Osgiliath.
yeah.
Frodo starts like tripping balls.
Sam is begging him to hold on.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's saying Sauron's eye is on him. There's this really like great scene of just like Frodo staring, this great shot of Frodo staring at Sam. Like they don't say a thing to each other, but there's just so much like weight, so much.
Oh, you mean where he's
sadness.
like talking to him wordlessly and like he's just kind of like staring at him, is like there's this kind of sound effect that's draining everything from the world.
Yes. There's no dialogue, but it's just like, but there is like he's like
Sam's
Sam is
talking to
talking,
him.
but like Frodo can't hear.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, good way to visualize that, or audio visualize that.
And I love Sam freaking out
Yeah.
and being like, dude, do you want to know why your brother died? Your
Yeah.
brother died because he was fucking weak. He was a little fucking piece of shit,
Yeah.
dude. He came after this fucking ring, dude.
Yeah, and which is sad because that's not why he died. He died because he was being
But
brave.
he doesn't know that.
I know.
And I love that he doesn't know
I know,
that.
yeah. It's just it's kind of twisted, but like it's,
But
it's an
it's-
effective moment, and it has the heart of why he died in there, but it's not actually
It's
why he
like
died.
it's like this sort of thing of like, I am gonna tell you the version of the truth that most helps you understand
Yeah.
what you need to understand.
Yeah, the ring drove him mad, right? Because he's like, send him off to my father, and he's like, no, and then yeah,
Nazgul.
I love Frodo just like, they're here.
Yeah.
and then you hear the screams first. Again, the screams are always so haunting and scary. And you really see how it affects the troops, right? Like there's so many of them just like cowering on the ground, covering their ears. Like,
yeah, I like it's cool that they don't really mention it, but you know that is like that there's magic in like
Yeah.
the way that in what they're doing.
Yeah, their screams.
Back to Helm's Deep,
Yeah,
orcs
the
ramming the
fortress is
door.
taken.
They're
It's
trying to
over.
reinforce the door.
The people in the cave. Yeah, the way it's just flashing back between all the people, like just so scared and like.
Also, Theoden just looks so defeated, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. His line about this always stood out to me. What can men do against such reckless hate?
Yeah,
just
and-
total despair.
Aragorn trying to urge him on.
Ride out with me.
Is there a way for the women and children
Yeah.
to make it out?
Yeah, and they really should have sent them into these caves as soon as the orcs showed up, or even before. But whatever, it's fine.
And I love Gimli like saying the sun is rising,
Yeah.
and Aragorn like being like fuck, and then be like, wait, no, fuck,
Gandalf's
yeah,
words,
yeah.
Yeah, and the horn will sound one last time. The way the music kind of just like
The horn
swells
of
and,
Helm Hammerhand.
yeah, this is great. And like yeah, they're all mounted up, and you have Theoden, now for wrath, now for ruin in the red dawn. Like, bro, what a line. That's
Very cool,
so
yeah.
awesome. And them charging out with the horn blowing. It's just like so good, man. So epic. And
I love it's Gimli like sounding the horn too. Very, very
yeah, that's
cool.
not in the book, but like I like it too. Because again, it's supposed to be more like mankind focused. But like, yeah, I like Gimli because yeah, it wouldn't look good with him riding the horse, so it fits.
Yeah, and Aragorn looks to the fucking east and he sees fucking. Well, they ride out towards the invading army and they see it's like huge, and then they see fucking Gandalf
Yeah.
like coming back with like the other riders. And I love like in my notes I put hell yes, unintentional pincer maneuver.
Yeah, and again, one of my favorite moments in the whole trilogy here is just them riding down the hill at the orcs and the blinding lights
Yes.
and the swelling music. The music is perfect
Yeah, the
here.
sun rising on their backs.
Yeah,
like,
but like
like
amplified
blinding
by,
the
by the
fucking
White
orcs.
Wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just so epic, perfect. And
And then we
like,
cut back to Ents that are throwing stones at those that are
Yes.
defending Isengard. I love watching the Ents like getting their revenge. You
yeah,
know,
it's so good.
and Saruman just looking so discombobulated watching it happen.
Yeah, just I wrote "Get wrecked, Saruman" times
Yeah.
2 here. The first time being when he was
Yeah.
pushed out of Theoden.
Break the dam, release the river.
Yeah, I love this. So cool, and it like perfectly ties into the themes. Like mankind made this dam to control nature, to keep the flow
Yeah.
in their palm of their hands, and here it comes back all tearing down
Yeah.
around them.
The
Like,
river's just washing away all the machines and industry. It's like
Yeah.
nature will always like win. It's an awesome like set piece, you
Yeah,
know.
it looks
And the
so
little
good.
asides that Treebeard says too, he says a fine hit, and then like hold on, little hobbits. And the camera spends so much time on the river, fucking like rushing through.
going through into the pits, and you see all the orcs holding on for dear life. It's all super
Yeah,
well done.
dude, that's fucking gnarly to think about, like
I was
drowning in
thinking
like
about
this
that.
huge fucking hole.
Yeah. And the just like a small little moment that I always love is we see one of the Ents get set on fire, and when the water comes rushing in, he like dunks
douses
his
himself. Yeah, it's great.
It's really good.
It's a cute little thing.
Yeah.
Frodo's looking weird, dude.
Yeah, he's not having a good time.
And Sam's like, dude, what are you doing?
And he like just walks straight up to confront the Nazgul. And he holds the ring out to him. And again, it's like one of those
to
things
confront, it felt much more like almost like
to,
he's
like,
give
to,
up.
to
Yeah.
like to give the ring to the ring wraith. Yeah. And it's another one of those things that irks me a little bit with the lore of the books, because like I said, like Sauron has no idea where the ring is, and that's a big plot element of the books. So like the ring wraith just seeing that the ring is at Osgiliath kind of puts a wrench in everything they're kind of doing in the third movie, where it's like Sauron has no idea where Frodo is. It's like,
Yeah.
you just saw him, he's right at your gates, basically.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think my favorite part of this scene is like Sam like Frodo's gonna put the ring on. Sam tackles him and they tumble down. Frodo drawing his sword, and we have the whole line, "It's me, it's your Sam. Don't you know you're Sam?"
Yeah.
And then Frodo just like
Falls apart,
gushing
yeah.
open and being like, "I can't do this, dude. It's all fucking right." It's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And again, like shouts out like to Elijah Wood and Sean Astin,
Yeah.
but Elijah Wood in this scene where you're just like, it's so visceral. So like the like hopelessness is so palpable.
Yeah.
It's crazy, like, because you know they succeed in the
Yeah.
end, but like watching the movies, you're like, this is insurmountable.
Yeah, totally. How could you ever overcome something like this? And then just, yeah, one of my favorite sequences, maybe my favorite sequence in the movie, of just, again, Sam like hitting it.
It's like in
Digging
the
it
great
home.
stories.
It's yeah, it's just an amazing monologue. Just
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
only a passing thing, this shadow. And yeah, just like when he's like, we're fighting. Like there was always something that they fought for in those stories, and
Yeah.
Frodo being like, well, what are we fighting for? And he's like, there's some good in this world, and it's worth fighting for.
And the thing that he says, where like he says, it's like in the great stories, the ones that really matter.
Yeah.
They're full of darkness and danger. They were. Don't want to know the end. How could the end be happy? And like
Yeah.
that's literally what I
you
just
just
said
said,
about
yeah.
this fucking movie,
Yeah.
about these movies.
And the way it's just like showing all the battles happen, like they're shouting victory at Helm's Deep and the water flooding
Yeah.
over. It's just like
Yeah,
so perfect.
Sam like literally over like because we get the J cut to the scene at Rohan, and Sam is saying, "How could the world go back to the way it was when so much bad happened?" You
Yeah.
know, and it's cool to see like Gandalf leading the riders against the orcs. You know,
Yeah, I love it.
really good shit.
Yeah, and I like that Faramir kind of overhears this, and he's like, yeah, you know what? Screw my dad. Let him go. And, the guy's like, well, you're forfeiting your life if you do this. And he's like, well, my life's forfeit. Fuck it.
Yeah, I also like just again to like reiterate some of the shit that like Sam says. He there's something about too small to understand why, and then Sam says like that he gets it now. The folk in the stories had plenty of opportunities to turn back,
Yeah.
but they didn't. They held on to something, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And that's when Frodo says, "What are we holding on to?"
Yeah.
And Sam picks him up, and like you said, he says that there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for.
Love it. Beautiful. One of the best parts.
And then Gollum looks sad because he's not included.
Well, I took that moment as almost it's him struggling with his own darkness.
Oh,
Where
for sure,
where
for
it
sure.
speaks to him, and he's almost like, I wish that could be me, but I
Yeah.
don't think it is.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, he feels left out because he's not like a person anymore.
Yeah, it's powerful.
I love the way that Faramir kneels to Frodo, and I like that line. I
Yeah.
think at last we understand one another.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff.
And Madril, the guy who like is like his sort of like second in command or whatever, he's like, dude, don't let them go. Your life will be forfeit. And he's like, then it is forfeit.
Yeah, fuck it.
Good moment, a good payoff for all of this probably the biggest bullshit within like the fucking movie.
The most shoved in stuff in the trilogy, probably, but it's really good.
It's okay to call it bullshit. There's nothing wrong. Poop is fertilizer, dude. Like, I mean, like, it has a purpose.
Yes, it does have its purpose, yeah. And we got Gandalf and crew looking
We
out.
got our fucking boys cresting the hill, brother.
Looking out at Mordor. I've always been confused by this. It seems like you can see Mordor like
From everywhere.
for everywhere in Middle Earth. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but okay, sure. But I do like the line. Yeah,
I just picture like a fucking like a commercial where it's like, come to Middle Earth. We have sweeping views of Mordor and sweeping views of Mordor and more views of Mordor.
Yeah, it just seems like it's always right on the horizon. But yeah, I like the line. The battle for Helm's Deep is over. The battle for Middle Earth is about to begin. Just good cliffhanger for
And also
this movie.
like saying, all our hopes now lie with two little hobbits somewhere in the wilderness. Honestly, that line to me just made me think, I don't sure, we can be reminded of Frodo and Sam, but honestly, if they had taken a lot of them out of this movie, I would be okay with it. Like if you just pepper in moments to like remember it. Like I think there's, dude, I don't think it's like a Paul Atreides. Like I see one tiny way to adapt this. Like, and I think we've taken these as sort of like gospel in like the adaptation thing, and it is amazing adaptation, phenomenal, one of the best. But I think it's so fair to like sit here and like with the hindsight to be like, it didn't have to be like this, and to also like acknowledge like there's reasons they did it like that, and like that's cool. But like, yeah, there's a part of me that's growing to be more like this. There wasn't a narrow path. There were more ways to do this, and I can see why certain choices are not made.
Yeah, totally.
But at the same time, I like I said, I would almost like that. Like, and then like the Return of the King, like getting more of like Frodo and Sam. But
yeah, I do think it's important to set up just how in despair they are, and you got to set up Gollum in this movie too. So it's like they got a lot to do still.
Yeah, but they don't need to do like the Faramir shit. Like you can do all of that without that,
Yeah.
And almost reiterates it with the isolation if it's just the three of them, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess it would just be. It would be a little weird not to have any kind of climax for their story in this movie.
But it is like I think viewers are intelligent enough to acknowledge that it is like part of like a greater story.
Right.
And I think it's also okay to be like, that's not the main story of this movie, right?
This is more about the men's side of things.
Yeah, for sure. Which again speaks to like what you've been saying so much, that like this is like men, like it's the age of men is like starting,
Yeah. We
get some great music from Sam is fucking killing it.
Another
he's
one
like,
of the best scenes.
Dude, he's like knocking it out of the park over and over and over again.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever put us into songs or tales.
Yeah, and he wants to know. I mean, Frodo wants to know about one of the chief characters. Samwise the Brave. I want to know more about Sam, because Frodo's like us. He's like, Sam is the best.
Yeah, and just Sam's response of like, oh, you shouldn't make jokes. I was being serious.
Yeah.
And he's like, Frodo wouldn't have made it very far without Sam.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Really good. It's so good because in this movie we've already had them kind of like starting to bicker a little bit, and then
Frodo's
in the next
starting to collapse into darkness.
And then the next movie, there's so much more of that as far as I can remember, at least.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more. Yeah.
And it is like it gets to the point where I'm almost like, I'm fucking tired of this shit. Like, you guys need to like fucking
sort it out.
like fight or fuck, like please.
And just like again, I think the way that it's kind of mirrored like their friendship, their hope, like it ends with Frodo like smiling because he's so like amused by Sam thinking about Samwise the Brave and stuff, and then it like just pans over to Gollum, who's just struggling.
I do like that it's Frodo and Sam calling after, like where Sam is like kind of making the concession, okay, like I can accept this part of you, I see this, right? Very subtle, but and then the different mannerisms and expressions of the different personalities, and you realize that like kind of like Gollum is like back in control.
Yeah, Master betrayed us and basically just plotting to kill them, and
the Shelob foreshadowing.
Yeah, and Gollum's like, well, we could let her do it.
Yeah. And we get the cool movement of the camera up out of the trees towards Mordor, and we see the ring race flying around the Eye of Sauron and the ever-present fire of Mount Doom.
Yeah, and that's where it ends.
Roll to credits.
Great movie.
Roll the credits.
Powerful movie.
Roll the credits.
Yeah, I I mean, I love all these movies so much. I will say this is my least favorite of the three. I know this is some people's favorite. I think the Battle of Helm's Deep might be the best battle in the movies. And a lot of great stuff, a lot of great build up. I will still give it an S tier. I think still amazing themes, like all the sets, the storytelling, all the characters, all the like. There's so many just banger lines of dialogue and so much poetry woven into all this, and top tier soundtrack that brings it all home for me. Yeah, where are you at with it?
Oh, there were a lot more. Like,
I have more nitpicks with this one.
there's
than
a
the
lot
others,
more
and-
stuff. As I think about it, I'm gonna say this very quickly. Grima shedding the single tear when he sees the army of 10,000. It wasn't in the script. It's something that Brad Dourif can do at will,
That's awesome.
and they decided it would work well for the scene.
That's awesome.
I'll be learning from my boys. I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna give it an A. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it an A. And
I think that's fair.
I think contextually, like, dude, again, like I said about like Dune, like if you watch those two movies together, like
Yeah.
S, right?
Yeah,
There's just like this one just has a lot of bullshit crammed into it. I also realizing more and more what the source material is like. Am kind of like, even as I was starting to say with Fellowship, I'm like, I get where you're coming from, but that's not enough to like dissuade me.
Fair.
So yeah.
Yeah, and there was one scene I meant to call out from the extended edition that I wish was in here, which is we get a flashback with Boromir and Faramir in the extended, where they had just won a battle at Osgiliath, and there's like a really nice moment of just like brotherly love between them, and then the father shows up, and he's showing up to tell Boromir, like, hey, there's a council being held. I need you to go there and make sure like Gondor has its way, which is setting up Boromir's whole arc and Fellowship, why he's so like, I need to do this for Gondor. But it's Faramir who's like, I could go, and his father's basically like, you little like worthless piece of shit would go? No, I would send a child in your place. I don't know exactly what he says, but
Yeah.
like, just really putting him down. And I think that's
Yeah.
really nice character building for both Faramir and Boromir that I wish was in this. But yeah.
Yeah. As we're wrapping this up, we've been talking about like some of the lore and the Silmarillion thing, and I just wanted to shout out for those of you who don't know, the creation myth in in the world of Middle Earth is one of my favorites I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Connor and
it's
I
awesome.
are both musicians, and
So good.
the way that the world comes into being is through the Ayun Ayunu Lindula Ayunu Lindale. You guys know I'm great with pronunciation. But oh yeah, hey, it's actually Ainu Lindalai.
Is that the
and-
song that they
And
sing?
that is the music of Ainur.
Yeah.
Iluvatar like creates the world through singing.
Well, so they create a vision of the
Yeah.
world. And so everything that happens is laid out in this vision, and all the darkness that lays out is because the most ambitious of his like demigod angels,
Melkor sows discord into the melody.
Yes, so all the evil that is going to come is because of this, and the way it happens, like one of my favorite things I read in the whole Silmarillion is this kind of standoff between Iluvatar and Melkor as they have like a sing-off where
Yeah.
like Melkor keeps trying to sow dissonance in, and then Iluvatar changes the music so that the dissonance starts to harmonize with the music, but then he keeps interrupting it, and then like each time Iluvatar is like less and less patient with it until he like stands basically, or like his face turns to fury, and he creates something that no matter what Melkor tries to create, it becomes a harmony within his music. And he's basically saying like, yo, whatever you do, it'll be within my own music. Like you can't, like every part you play will create a greater whole under my vision.
I also think that what's really cool is the way they kind of frame it is that it's not like initially from a like point of like being evil. Like I like one of the things that they say is like he's like a precocious child. Like he like wants to like elaborate, right? Like
Yeah.
he wants to like flex his own muscles and be himself.
He doesn't want to just be under like he wants to be the composer. He doesn't want to just be like he wants to create something for, like himself, and he's forced into Luvatar's melody.
Yeah, it's very cool the way it all works out. I'm someone who loves dissonance in music, and I don't think it's evil. So fuck you, Tolkien. But it is a very cool, obviously, like just the word dissonance, discord, and the like whole visualization, and then also just the fact that there's so many songs throughout all of these all of the stories, all of
Yeah.
the books, the
It's
movies.
so woven into
Yeah.
it.
You know, honestly, there should be more singing in the fucking movies.
Yeah.
Also,
There is in the extended.
You know
get
what?
a lot more music.
I give Fellowship an A. I give this a B. Give me more singing. Next week, we are going to be talking about a film called The Godfather Part 3.
Yep.
No, just joking. We're doing Return of the King, of course.
Can't wait. I love it.
No, it's very exciting. I think we're gonna have a great time. I hope y'all have been enjoying this. Shout out to people engaging with the last video. Shout out to our boy Sean. Really appreciate the fucking comment. Very sweet of you to say. Very. Did you read his
Yeah,
comment?
yeah.
I thought that was very nice because it was very much like when we were deciding to do this. Like, how do we want to approach this? Like, what level of
Detail do we want to go
what level
into?
of detail and like. Last time after we ended, Connor's like, "Well, we're not gonna be talking so much about like Silmarillion and lore stuff again." I was like, "Fuck that! Yeah, we probably will." Like,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. He was sort of reassuring me because I doing the editing was like, God, this is gonna be an insurmountable like fucking Sisyphean like taking the ring to Mount Doom type task. But in the end, you know, we squeeze out. You know, I can sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
what I'm talking about,
there's a
baby.
battle raging.
Yeah.
The battle of hot takes.
Yeah. For the Red Dawn, brother.
For the Red Dawn. As we like to say, please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, call your mom, tell her that you love her, you know, tell your friends that you love them, hug and kiss your friends platonically and consensually if you're into that kind of shit. If you're not, then obviously don't. But yeah, stay tuned for Return of the King next week, and you know, we'll see you in the fiery pit of Mount Doom.
Doom.